What's going on, best friends? It's the pre-show for Gamescast with Joey Noel.
Oh, hey.
How you doing, Joey? How's that mic
really
height?
high. It's really high.
Like,
I'm also
up,
like
everybody?
significantly shorter than everybody else. So
I don't have chat up yet.
We don't have chat. We're working
Kevin's working on it. I just sat down myself.
We did.
We got Chance, we got Kebabs, we got 16 Bits of Awesome, Demetrius, Mike L, Joanne.
Mike L nails it, yeah.
The Yasmin.
Oof, Kevin moving a couch with a stomach full of pizza. Fortunately, Barrett was able to move it for me.
Hey, Nano.
Did you almost... How close are you to wanting to just take a nap, Kevin?
I mean, I feel terrible. I felt terrible.
You feel terrible.
I felt
Kevin's
terrible.
lactose intolerant.
Yeah,
and has been
yeah.
eating pizza, including cheese stuffed crusts all day.
Why?
Because it's DiGiorno's and it's delicious, okay?
Yeah.
So don't
Oh, you
judge
didn't come.
me.
We had a sponsored stream today with DiGiorno.
Oh.
So there's a ton of pizza in the back.
I was going to say, that sounded very sponsored. Joey, what did you think of E3? We're talking about it, so we won't hear from you, though.
I know. I'm excited. I was disappointed by the pushback of Animal Crossing, as to be expected.
Number one disappointment. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay.
But other than that, I'm excited.
Give me like top 3 things off top of your head that you were like, ooh.
Cyberpunk.
Okay.
I'm now
Even
trying
without
to.
seeing the
Yeah.
behind closed doors. You haven't seen it, right?
No, I'm just excited. Like I've talked to so many people about it over the week.
It was the jackets that
Yeah,
you saw, probably.
the jackets are so cool. I'm trying to think of what else I'm excited about. I feel like it's
Nintendo. You got Xbox announcements.
I know. I feel like it was so long ago now that I
It is easy to
can't
forget. There was a lot.
remember.
I'll throw stuff out. Watch Dogs, Luigi's, Pokemon.
I am really excited for Luigi's Mansion 3. Luigi, Year of Luigi.
The Luigi, yeah.
I'm not a huge. I don't love open world games, which is why I'm a little bit hesitant about Cyberpunk, even though it looks really cool and I'm excited because I think it's going to be really good. But that's kind of why I don't get into Watch Dogs and
Smells delicious, Andrea.
all stuff. I liked for the little bit that I played of The Witcher. I'm excited that it's coming to Switch because everyone's like, oh, but it's not going to be as great. But it's going to be portable, which is the most important aspect of it.
You might actually be able to finish it now.
Yeah.
Just play wherever.
For sure. And by wherever, most of the time, it's just going to be me in bed.
Yeah.
But
I know, right?
Way more convenient.
That's the thing that people forget is like, yes, it's an old game, but like you play it anywhere now. And that is why people like Switch so much, obviously.
Something that I didn't hear anybody talk about on camera, but that I heard a lot from people that were at the show was Man of Medan.
Oh,
It's the like spiritual successor to Until Dawn, made by Supermassive. Right?
Oh, yeah. Wait.
The narrative is completely
Is that the one on
different,
the boat?
But like the same style.
the same team, yeah, Supermassive.
That's the one on the boat. Oh, I didn't know they showed more of it. They had more at the show or something.
Yeah.
You could play it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I wish I could see that.
Think it was hands-on.
Okay.
I didn't
Maybe a
get
demo or
hands-on at the show.
something.
I don't remember what.
Yeah, like I really like the trailer. It looks
Yeah.
cool. Like horror on like a boat, basically.
Yeah,
is what
and the
it-
fact that it's like it seems like an anthology series type. Because I think there's 3 storylines maybe that are semi-connected. I don't remember all the details of it.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about that.
Blackjack. Is this a John Varvatos shirt? I don't know. Andrea, can you? What's it saying? Is
It is John Varvatos.
Yeah, it is. You know why I got this? I originally got this for the Borderlands reveal because I was like, I needed new shirts anyway, and I was looking for wardrobe, and I was like, this kind of has a Borderlands vibe.
Yeah.
So I thought the art matched without it being like a Borderlands shirt. I never wore it in the end.
Speaking of Borderlands, I started playing Borderlands 2 during E3 week when we had some free time. It's very fun.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's just like chaos shooting.
Yeah, and it's fun because I've been looking for a new game because I used to roll with the crew to play Fortnite like a couple times a week, and it was fun to get to know to hang out with everybody and like catch up. But we haven't played a lot recently because a lot of the game's changed quite a bit. I feel like in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Well, they added that new DLC. They added new Borderlands 2 DLC.
Oh, yeah. Fortnite's changed a lot in the last 6 months.
Sorry.
Like
Mr.
all of those
Yasman,
mechanics.
I don't see the new casting news. I see the casting news from
Trolling?
April.
What's happening?
They want me to
Casting for
talk
what?
about the Wheel of Time casting news.
Oh,
but-
that's that author you really like?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
now.
author I really like is Brandon Sanderson. The author of The Wheel of Time is Robert Jordan. Brandon Sanderson helped him finish it
That
because he
might have been
died
what I
before the
remember.
series was complete.
Okay.
That's a lot of information.
But Brandon Sanderson did a fantastic job finishing it. So
Love it.
If you have a link, I mean, you probably can drop a link in there, but just tell me which outlet you read it on.
Yeah, at least we can give us a keyword. Like Wheel of... Oh, it does say timing, though. That might be why.
Well, I mean, I'm
Google.
Sure, I'm sure Google.
I know. You'd think Google would have
Google
found that.
found it, yeah.
I don't know, though. Yeah, I don't know.
There you go. So I started playing through it. I'm excited because I do want to get to the DLC before Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
But
I haven't finished yet. I need now I'm on a bit of a I don't have that long to finish it because it comes out. So
September?
meaning with all my travel, I got GuardianCon coming up. I'm deep in the new Destiny 2 release. But I want to finish it too, basically. Did you ever play 1 or no?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I played some of it. I played like 5 to 10 hours and then I just went straight to 2, which I think is the right move.
Yeah, because I know I had jumped in and I was like poking around even in the pre-sequel.
It's good,
And then I
but
was like,
pretty
I don't need to
aged.
do that. Yeah, I was like, and then
pretty
everyone's
simple.
like, no, we're going straight to 2. I was like, that's fine. So I'm excited to maybe get through more of that
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
this week.
Oh,
I think
going
this
on
is
the
a
lighting
fine
here?
pick.
Something looks
I
different.
think Marine is such an interesting character that I would need to see like cast photos of what she looks
that's
like
it.
in the full costume
Flag.
and the hair and makeup. But
I like Rosamund Pike though.
yeah, I'm sure she'll do a great job.
Fran,
caught a
Fran
studio
needs a better hair.
No,
light.
it's not the hair light. It's
It's
literally
hair
this side of
lighting.
my face.
Well, no,
it was
it's
like
because
half
they
shadow.
always barn door this light and then they never reopen it back up until I'm like,
No,
yo,
this one
fix
sucks.
The light.
This one's supposed to
Then
be.
why is it even
over-
there, Tim?
Well, it shouldn't be. We might as well just get rid of it. But when we tried undoing it one time, it jacked up everything on the light. So we're like, it's better to just have it.
No,
up
it was
there.
fine. I just noticed that I had like a half shadow face, and I was like, something,
Yeah.
Sorry, I went into
That's-
producer mode for a second.
I love it, dude. I need it.
Trying to catch
I need
Kevin
it
on
hard.
something.
Pans are Rosamund Pike is from Gone Girl, and Pride and Prejudice, right? I think.
I don't know. How was Big Little Lies?
Oh, it's so good.
Haven't watched it yet.
I haven't
So
seen it. I haven't seen any yet.
So G and I went to the Alamo Draft House on Monday because they were
Oh,
doing
yeah, I
this
saw
like
those
Amazon
sweet gifts.
Fire event. So they showed the first episode, which happened last week, and then the second episode, which aired on Sunday. And they showed them back to back, which was really fun. And they had this cool like popcorn robot, and we took these fun gifts. And
Popcorn robot?
yeah, it was like this popcorn machine that had a robot thing, and you like clicked around on the screen to tell it what flavor of popcorn you wanted, and then it would like pick the cup and put it in, and then put the thing on it and toss it all together, and then deliver it to you.
Terrifying.
Totally unnecessary, but
no
really
part
cool.
of-
You
No
know,
robots.
it's kind of like the coffee robots that are at the Metreon downstairs.
I've seen the
Unfamiliar.
one across the
Really?
street on Market.
Yeah.
Same thing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think they're terrifying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's real
they don't
good.
have legs, so they can't like walk out and strangle you.
Yet.
But the arm,
It's
Yeah,
just it's
exactly.
just one arm.
Yeah.
You guys, I think I've decided that I don't like stuffed crust pizza.
You guys are monsters.
I
Both
just
of
said the
you
same
saying
thing in the
that.
back
Like
to
stuffed crust?
Andy.
Is it just like too much?
It's too much cheese.
And the crust
so
doesn't get
good.
crispy.
You got to
I
dip it
think-
in sauce.
Yeah, you got to dip.
I think
love it, though.
if there was more bread to cheese ratio, I could be
You want more bread.
intrigued. I want more bread.
Yeah, I agree.
I want more crust, less cheese.
I'm always
What
a
if it
fan of
was
more
different
crust.
Type, yeah. What if it was a different type of cheese though, which would change the overall texture? Like a better cheese. That,
Like what kind of
No,
cheese
that's
would you
right.
put in
Probably
it?
mozzarella, right? Which
What
makes a lot of sense.
Like I don't think it would fit to put like a brie or like it would be.
Asiago.
Would that melt
A
down
nice
enough though?
Asiago.
I could do like some pecorino.
You wouldn't want it.
or
Yeah,
some
you wouldn't want
Parmesan
a
in
big
there.
stick of that.
But I
though,
would
'cause that
rather it
would be
on
too much.
top of the crust.
Because those are
than
too
inside the
salty
crust.
to have it in that
Yeah, that sounds good.
quantity.
I love it salty.
Like that's super salty in that quantity.
Ooh, you
It would
get
be
some
too much. It'd be too dry.
Parmesan and then some truffle oil.
Oh, truffle oil.
I don't like truffle.
You don't like truffle? The truffle
gets
Parmesan
too much for me.
popcorn
Yeah,
from
I'll
Draft
tolerate
House.
it, but I don't like it.
So good.
I like
little-
just a little bit.
A little trick though, if you do like Parmesan cheese and truffle oil, you just get like white truffle oil, probably is better, and then you cube up Parmesan cheese and you just drizzle it on it. That's it. And it's unbelievably good. Just little cubes of Parmesan on toothpicks, and the truffle oil.
I heard
It's,
Kevin
like,
made you
so
some Parmesan truffle popcorn at his house.
good. He
Or attempted to.
did, and then we both made it together. Catch us on Instagram.
There's nothing I love more than that image.
That brief show that we had was quite amazing.
Nanobiologist said, did you guys see the new Adi Shankar Pokemon short? I did watch it this morning. We're going to talk about it a bit on Internet Explorers tomorrow. Interesting stuff. It implies it's a teaser, which I don't really understand. Like, is there more coming? I don't know. Someone tell me.
So there was cheese inside the crust of this other one?
There's cheese
Hey,
and
gaming for the
inside
poor.
all of the crusts. That's the types that we
Cheesy
bought.
stuff. Oh,
It's on the
no.
laptop.
Oh,
DeJourner, you
It
failed
ricocheted.
me.
It ricocheted.
it's a cheesy stuffed crust pizza, Andrea.
Well,
I did not realize.
well.
The gang's on here.
For the first time, and it feels like months.
Welcome
Give
to
it
the
a
first
follow.
ever. It'll be more real than ever.
Man.
It has been, we've been, let's see, last full show, maybe 3 weeks ago? I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's been hit or miss, man. It's been hit or miss.
Yeah. Because it was just the three of us right before E3. No,
With Andy, yeah.
With Andy. And before that, I'm not sure. I feel like you were missing.
Andrew's been popping around, bit
I think Greg was
bopperoo.
missing.
Greg's bopping
Greg's
around,
just
bit
been
bopperoo.
Andrea's always bit bopping
Bit
her way in.
bopperoo.
A bit bopperoo.
Oh, man.
We were just
Greg,
talking about
this is show number 4 for you today.
Yeah.
That's
It's a lot of days, a lot of
dangerous.
shows.
And
That's
it's
where
only
Andrew's game.
3 o'clock. Wow.
Somebody in the DiGiorno stream was like, "Oh man, DiGiorno made Greg sleepy." I'm like, "Nah, all the work did."
Combination.
I'll turn it on.
The DiGiorno reminded
I might pour
you.
coffee. I want to pour coffee. Is that cool? Can you pre-show,
Oh, coffee it up,
pre-show for
man.
2 more minutes?
Yeah, dude.
Andrew, don't give me that look.
Tim, can you add 10 minutes?
Do a
to
couple
this?
like jumping jacks,
10?
Greg.
Yeah.
A face slap.
Sure.
Okay.
Cold water. All the above.
All the above, baby.
How do you wake yourself up without other than coffee? You got any other methods?
Oh.
Now I don't like to do some of these other methods, but I have some.
What are your methods,
Well,
Fran?
for example, like really cold water splashing on your face.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah?
That's a big one. That'll wake
Yeah.
you up like almost better than anything.
See, for me, I
It's
just need to
so
shower.
uncomfortable.
Once I get in the shower, I'm
That
up.
makes,
I'm good.
yeah, it takes forever.
I like standing in there, letting it all drizzle over
Yeah,
me.
I do too, but it's a very slow process.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have to have coffee with me. So that doesn't do it. So you don't have any other. Okay, so cold water on the face is a good one. Technically, doing some push-ups or something. Like, I honestly don't do that often. Very uncomfortable. But there's people who do it all the time. They hop out of bed.
Doing the push-ups?
They're like Christian Bale and American Psycho. And
Yeah.
just, that's it. They're up.
I can imagine that's how you live your life. Like, it's hard to believe
I
that's
don't.
not what happens.
I wish that I did. You know, like I put on like a face peel and I was doing like I can do 1,000 now, and then,
Yeah.
those are sit-ups. But I wish that was what my morning was like.
Yeah.
But I'm glad
Hey, it's up to you, man.
that image of me is out
Oh,
there. I'm
trust
like,
me, that is exactly what I think.
that I'm an American Psycho.
Man, I left my toiletry bag at the hotel at E3. I called, they couldn't find it. It was a whole thing. So I lost a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
which was very sad.
What was in there? Like face care.
So I lost
toothbrush?
no, I don't do any face care, but
God, we gotta
my
talk
my
to
Quip toothbrush. So I had to buy another one of those.
That's
So
huge.
that sucked. I had my brand new hair product. So it was like that was a whole
was it, a gel,
American
like
Crew.
a-
I do American
Oh,
Crew
okay, sure.
pomade.
That's like
Slight
25
lemony
bucks.
scent.
I think it was 16 because I buy like the
Okay.
Costco variety where I get a whole bunch of them. But still, kind of a bummer.
Yeah, yeah, that's expensive.
I lost my eye glue. I don't know if you guys heard about that whole conundrum,
You
but
gotta glue your eyes in.
it was a whole thing.
Oh,
Were you
I
here when
did.
my eye was
Oh
like
my
destroyed?
God. Yeah.
But I'm good enough now that I don't need it.
Ooh, that's
The
on our
sound of
end.
the siren too, just so bizarre.
Very weird. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, it was like very upsetting me. But my first thought was, can I imagine if I was Fran and this happened?
Oh,
like I feel
God.
like that would just you'd go into shutdown mode.
Oh, that's hundreds
you,
of
You
dollars
wouldn't be
out the
able to do anything.
No, I would, but I would
My
have been
comb
devastated
too.
by
I had
the
a nice
loss.
comb.
Oh man,
I'm sad about
That's
that.
Huge.
R.I.P. comb.
I sort of bring everything in more, just in
can't believe
case.
they couldn't
Toiletry
find-
bags.
The loss of the Quip.
Yeah. What's your comb situation?
I actually have 2 different brushes. I
Use
don't
brush.
Really use
You're a brush
comb.
guy.
Yeah, I don't use a comb because I don't
A
need
little
like
bit more.
my hair is very fine
There
and
we
thin
go.
anyway. So I mean, unless I'm doing like a very slick back look, I don't
Yeah.
really need a comb.
Hourglass figure.
So yeah, I have like a pretty open tooth comb and then a pretty tight brush.
Yeah.
if that makes
See, I
sense.
use too much product for a brush.
Yeah, it's a plastic brush basically, and then like another one that's very tight. If that makes sense.
I want you to know, Fran.
Yes.
Since you did my hair that one day,
Yeah,
I've
feel
fallen
like I
in
did a
love
good
with the
job.
hairspray. I'm using the
Oh,
hairspray.
you're
I bought
putting
my
it
own
all in.
bottle of hairspray. Using
And I know I'm a little
Remake?
biased about this, Greg, but I love it. I know I'm biased about the product because I'm a big product supporter.
Yeah, sure.
But you looking damn good every time I see you. It started
No, it's
at
not a great one.
EA Play.
It's been a long day.
You're getting to the point
The hair's
of
been getting
needing a
sloppy. I just
haircut.
ran
It's
water
fine.
through it. But if you look at me on the games daily the last couple times, it's been great. EA Play, my hair looks great. Yeah.
What kind of
Fantastic.
hairspray are you rocking?
Tresemme, ooh la la. You know,
Okay.
remember that commercial?
Yeah.
Tresemme, ooh la la.
La, la. Yeah.
Watch a lot of TV.
That's old too.
It is. Well, we're old
been
people.
around- yeah,
I don't know if you
it's
know
been
that.
around a long time.
Your hair's looking good.
Thank you. Yeah, I did it a little more shiny today.
Yeah. Everything's tight right now in you. You know.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You look like you lost some weight too.
Yeah, you were.
I actually did.
You were getting fat, and your hair looks terrible.
Both true.
No.
I got violent food poisoning or something on Thursday night. I don't know if you guys all processed this or knew it, but
No.
so E3 ended. I had to recheck into a different hotel because I was staying with Brennan over at the condos, and I switched and I got over there and I like showered. I'm like, I'm worn down, man.
Yeah.
Just because E3, right, and partying and drinking, and I was like, I need a nap. So I laid down. It was like 7. Only took like 45 minutes to an hour. And then I woke up and I just felt weird. And I was like, I should eat, but I'm like, hungry. Long story short, nothing was really going on. So it ended up, nothing happened, but I was in my hotel room. It was around like 11. And man, I was like, boom, fetal position, freezing. And I was like in so much pain. I just like covered up. I had to turn the heat up. I was so cold. It was like 77. And I just laid there, woke up the next day, still felt awful. And like, a lot of other symptoms along with that. And I had to book the hotel again because I couldn't move effectively.
Wow.
And I just stayed and like slept and like watched Hulu on my phone and tried to get like drink water. It was miserable. And so I basically just didn't eat a lot on top of running around E3.
Sure.
And
So
here you
all
are.
things combined, I lost a lot of weight in the process, and I'm also right now trying to, get things in order because it's a good opportunity when you get food poisoning or something to like
Sort your life out.
I mean, you need to be nourished to sort your life out, but you need to be nourished. But the point is, you've already lost. I lost like I don't know if it was water weight, but like 5 freaking pounds across the course of E3 in this. So I was
And now
I was
you're
in
gonna
the
wake up
line,
every
like
morning
one
doing
stomach
push-ups.
flew away
Yes.
from my goal weight. Yeah, Devil Wears Prada.
yeah, you had surgery. You probably lost weight as well, right?
Yeah, I didn't eat. I still
you
not
look like
eating
it.
very much.
How's that? What's the update on you?
Yeah, how you feeling?
I'm feeling okay today. Like it's like now been exactly 2 weeks, so I still have like some soreness around the
Discomfort.
surgery sites and stuff, and my follow-ups in a couple days. But I'm okay. I still can't like exercise or lift anything over 10 to 15 pounds, but I feel okay.
Good.
I'm tired.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I did like
yeah.
I was telling the girls I did like the most meager amount of housework today to try to like catch up, and like it just like wiped
Crushed you.
like any energy that I had. Now I'm like, oh my god, it was just like 2 loads of laundry. What the heck? But when you don't do anything like
Yeah.
really active for a couple of weeks
It's
at a
hard to
time,
get the momentum.
yeah, exactly.
Momentum,
But
man.
that's why I have John.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
Love
What
you,
a great
honey.
guy.
In the same vein as you guys, I have a headache, so like we're all really just out here trying. You know what I
We're
mean?
just trying our best here. All right,
okay now.
let's get into the show. You ready for this big Kev dog?
Yeah, 1 second.
Big Kev dog today.
Woof woof. Give me a woof woof, Kev. There you go.
He ate too much pizza.
He did.
Yeah,
he
boy,
ate a
he's-
lot of pizza.
He's got
Little
like
Kev,
pizza
Kev, eat
sweats
pizza.
over there. Look at him. It's like cheese coming
Look
out of
at
his
him.
forehead. Just melting.
Let me know when you're good.
Go ahead.
Oh. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 226 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller.
Hello.
And making a return after what feels like forever,
Yeah.
Andrea
No,
Renee.
Ryan, what's good,
Welcome
guys?
back,
What's
Andrea.
good?
Thanks.
You can find her on What's Good Games. You already knew that. YouTube.com/What's Good Games. And then over here, FM3 himself, the best hair in the business. Oh, and it's looking extra
was
shiny
worried if I could
today.
get
That
that
was
cute.
good. That was good. Fran, where can people find you?
You can catch me on Twitch TV/FM3_. One day I'll get the 3 characters, or on the Epic Store. My creator code is simply Fran Mirabella. And thank
There
you
you
for
go.
supporting me and helping me do this.
I love it. I love it so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast each and every week right here on YouTube.com/KindofFunnyGames. We get together, talk about video games, all things we love about them. And there's a lot to talk about today because we just got back from E3, and this is the first time we've all been
Yeah.
together to talk about E3 and our E3 adventures.
We all went and did our solo films, and now the Avengers have reassembled.
This is it. This is definitely that.
Yeah, this is like Infinity War today, maybe.
Patreon supporters at the silver membership or above get to watch the show live as we record it. You can get the show 3 days early and get the full exclusive pre and post shows. Today's thrilling content in the pre-show.
Yeah.
Fran was talking about how much he does push-ups in the morning.
No.
Well, technically, the answer was zero,
Well,
but
ish.
still,
But I don't anyway.
you have to
Truffle
go check
oil,
that out. There was a lot of
face
truffle
care,
conversation.
Food
Yeah.
poisoning.
We ran the gamut there. Shout out to our Patreon producers for this month, Daniel Massey and James Hastings, making
Yeah.
all of this magic happen. If you don't want to do any of that, it's fine. You can watch the show on Mondays on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames or roosterteeth.com, or just search for Kind of Funny Gamescast on your favorite podcast service. We're sponsored by Zebit and Upstart, but we will talk about that later. Let's just get right into it. Last week, 2 weeks ago, actually, we were right here at this table. We did some E3 predictions.
Oh, God.
Andy! It's time. It's time for you
Andy
to come
was
sit
with
here
us.
on the shock mic.
Oh yeah,
Andrea
I want to
was
know.
busy.
Yes.
I mean, like, there's a lot of different scores out there. I want you to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but are there
Greg,
any
I've
that
seen
you win?
Yeah, I've seen.
No, but there's one where I'm second place, which I appreciate.
Oh, I thought all of them are.
There's
Oh,
a couple
right?
where I'm third, but
Oh, maybe not. Maybe
How did
not
it-
this
how
one.
do you
Kev,
get-
can you bring it up, please?
How do we just not? Can't we just go? Well, we don't have a record.
Yeah,
of
we're
what
not
we
going
said.
through the whole thing, but
See, I don't.
C_Anon on Reddit made this, and the final scores: I am the winner with 3.9, then Fran with 2.1, then Greg with 1.8, Andy with 1.3, and then Barrett with just 0.3.
So what is
And you
this
feel you
out
can
of?
trust these scores based on past history?
Out of 10?
Because I saw another one. I was last
Yikes! This is
place.
what happens when I'm not on the prediction show.
Yeah.
3.9 is the
we come
best
with
you
the
could do.
hotness,
Well, remember the thing is that it's not you can get the partial points,
Right.
which is where it's getting so bad, where it's not out of a million or whatever in terms of what you're gonna break it down to.
yeah.
But when we're breaking it down, the key things I like is that he added all of this
I do like the
editorialization
Sure.
here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Most comments / additions to other predictions from me, which I definitely buy. That makes a lot of sense. Fran with the most ridiculed correct prediction with the Breath of the Wild sequel. I thought
That
you
was a
were
big
crazy,
one, baby.
Oh
That
my
was
god!
huge. I
when
couldn't
it
believe
happened, it was just like Fran gets the point.
Yeah.
What?
That was a huge one.
Gotta love it. Greg with the most accurate with his comments / additions to other predictions.
Fixing everybody else's predictions.
And then Andy with the worst prediction ever.
mean, that's, you know,
with
opinions, you know.
Perfectly dark.
So Andrea, I predicted that Doug Bowser would announce Perfect Dark, and usually we always wear a shirt, like a special, and I said he'd be wearing a perfectly dark shirt. Which, come on, it's genius,
It's a
guys.
pun
I give this
for the
company
taking.
gold, Andrea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate you enough.
Keep your shit to KFAF. All right?
And then Barrett with the best dream come true moment with the Bikini Bottom remastered
Definitely
prediction.
did not see that
was huge.
coming.
Oh my god, so great! You gotta love it.
I feel
You
like
gotta
that
love
was
it.
the most ridiculed correct prediction, actually.
Well,
It was.
yeah,
I'm sorry, man.
I mean, it was only YouTube.
I was flabbergasted. I was, dude. Hey, and I'm happy that I will never forget that moment. Though we were here at 6 a.m. for the Pokemon Direct. We did that thing, and then Kevin left. Everyone left. It was just me and Barrett here. And I look at my Twitter as I'm making the thumbnail for the Pokemon thing, and I see SpongeBob come up, and I'm like, oh no. I was like, Barrett, get in here right now.
He's
and he came
recording.
in and I just started recording and then he saw it. Like at any other time, we would have not got that reaction video.
I came into the back room and then Tim stopped me coming into the back room. I was like, what's happening?
It's like,
and I
wait.
knew something was like announced or something because you're being weird. And the first thing that popped in my head was Batman got leaked or something.
Yeah, like he totally expected it to be Batman or Harry Potter and it was fucking SpongeBob.
Which was still just as hype for me, and it was fucking awesome.
It's huge, man.
You gotta love it. But Greg, what other predictions points have you seen?
Yeah, I'm
that
just
you were-
saying. There's someone else that did tweet one where I was at number 2, and I was hoping you'd pull that.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to tell you that. It's kind of like, I wanted you to find the light on your own because I didn't want to look like I'm trying to stuff the ballot box here. Make myself. look
Yeah, I
better.
saw one where I was in last place. I was like, I don't know how these things work.
Can you scroll down so I can
So
see
wait,
the rest
yeah,
of these?
you never actually read
Yeah.
the scores yet, did you, Tim?
I read the scores.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's see what this one says.
Yeah, I found the one that I think you're talking about, Greg, here
is a
from
really good breakdown,
BJ Bernardo.
Okay.
And all he said was 4th place Andy, 3rd place Fran, 2nd place Greg, 1st place Tim.
And it's that thing where I've just always heard that BJ Bernardo gets it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
Well,
not saying that this is fake news.
We got tweeted one like 3 days ago where I was beating Fran, and I saw that and I was like, I don't think that's true, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know how it works. Whatever you guys tell me, I'll believe. Basically.
I don't think there's a way it works.
Yeah. Can't we just listen through it again and be like, yeah, that was right, that was
You
wrong?
can. You can go to youtube.com/kindafunny
That's what I'm saying.
games and go for it over there. That's what they did.
I'll take second place though, Tim.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I'll
This
take
is really
anything,
good
man.
with the notes and the additions and the comments and the results and everything.
How,
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Who thought Bethesda was going to take a shot at Anthem?
Me, I did. That was my own
What?
That's great.
Seriously?
Those are great.
Well, if it was with the Fallout 76
Not
thing,
directly.
I thought they'd make some little
Like a
snide
roundabout.
comment about it.
No,
But they did-
Bethesda's better than that. They
But
wouldn't do that.
They did. It was in the vein of Fallout 76, right? And they did self-deprecate about it. So you kind of.
I was right on all that.
That was
it was
coming.
the Anthem thing I tossed in there. I think as flavor and didn't get.
Yeah, in our predictions with our Magic 8-Ball show, we had guessed that Pete Hines would say we fucked up on stage, like verbatim, and then he didn't. I was bummed.
That would be a big Big one.
He tapped his leg for us though.
He
We have
did.
investors. It's hard to
did.
say stuff like that.
I don't even know what my point
tapped
3
his leg.
was.
That's true.
Did you see it?
No.
Yeah, we call them annually. We call him every pre-show, like 10 minutes before they go live. We call Pete Hines and he answers every time, and we give him a pep talk. And then it was cool. We were just wondering if when you go out tonight, you can tap your leg for us. And he's like, I'll try. I don't know, guys. I'll try. And sure enough, he went up and went. and then he, when he went off stage, he texted me, "Tap the leg."
That's awesome.
How did your predictions go?
Our predictions went pretty good. Britt, we're gonna go over all the scores tonight on tonight's episode that we're recording, but ours is just more for funsies because we ask questions to a Magic 8 Ball, so it's not like we make specific predictions like you guys do. It's more for
Like you literally-
the funny stuff, as we say it. What's good?
So you let the 8 Ball answer.
We let the 8
will
Ball
there be a
answer.
Breath of the 2 Wild sequel and Breath of
Right.
the Wild 2 sequel? Okay.
We didn't
Fake
ask that
fan.
question because we assumed that there would not be, not this
Yeah.
early.
But Fran, though.
Surprise!
Fran coming
So
through.
got
with
the
that
dark
heat,
part
dude.
right and everything. It was
Yeah.
like almost spot on. I'd say.
Nostradamus.
My biggest
That's
surprise
right.
of missing games though was I couldn't believe Nintendo didn't say a word about Bayonetta 3. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that was a bummer.
I think it's because of Astral Chain. I think because it's coming so soon, they want to like push the platinum stuff to be a little bit more away from each other. But it's been so long since we've heard about Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
Similar theory. Because what is Retro Studios doing other than working on Metroid Prime now?
They
I
just
got
put
a
up that
theory.
new thing today.
The job post.
Yeah.
But I got a
Yesterday.
theory that the Star Fox Grand Prix thing is probably actually done, and they're holding it for the same types of reasons. Like, we're gonna push out and pace out later because we need to fill gaps. You
We'll
think that's
see,
possible?
man. It is definitely possible. Retro, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see
What else
anything
were they
from
doing
them.
for the past
I
5,
mean,
6
I
years?
think at this point, I think it's a safer bet to say that
Say
they
it got
were
canned.
working on something and got canned.
Possible.
Yeah, I think Metroid's the next thing we see from them.
see.
Unfortunately, because I thought we would
What
have
do you
seen
mean?
that this one.
Unfortunately,
The next, I would rather see something soon.
Oh, yeah,
Metroid
okay.
Prime 4 is not for a millennia.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I
The
mean?
Millennium.
The millennium, dude. Get hyped. Let's get into it. Speaking of E3, thanks, Andy. That's
Yeah,
all
no
I
problem.
needed you for.
Andy, good job. What
Thanks,
shirt is
Andy.
that? It's a good looking shirt.
Perfectly dark.
Should I play that game? Should I play that game?
E3. Fran, let's start with you. What was your game of the show, E3 2019?
I've been struggling with this one a little bit, but
Actually, before you say it, because what we did the Kind of Funny Approved, where we gave 4 different games. 4 different games are Kind of Funny Approved faces, and then we had the overall Kind of Funny Game of the Show award. So I want to know, let's go 3 Fran approved, and then your Fran Game of the
Fran
Show.
Pooh's just like, I liked it. I like what I see.
your
It stuck out to me.
top things. It doesn't need to be ranked, just
Yeah.
top things.
Yeah, even the word top, I'm going to use loose because I actually didn't see a ton hands-on, and I saw all the press conferences. So I don't know if you were judging stuff for the press conferences too.
We
There was a
mainly,
lot out there.
our qualifications are, can we give
Behind-
our face award to someone physically?
Okay, yeah. So behind closed door demo or played it. So
Yes.
based on that, Frank, it's just top of my head stuff that stuck out. Ooh, yeah, I really liked Watch Dogs.
Hell yeah.
Cyberpunk, and Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously. But it was hard because I also checked out Borderlands and
Was it a new demo?
I really liked Luigi.
Borderlands?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they added a new Vault Hunter. in.
Moe's.
I thought so.
Vault
When we were
Hunter.
doing Easy Allies, I think they saw it at Xbox, their stage, where it was the demo we played at the event. And then I was wondering if on the floor or behind closed doors.
Yeah, they had a
different.
new gameplay build.
Yeah, so I know I cheated that a bit, but I just put in the honorable mention of Luigi was a really good showing. And I played Zelda, Pokemon, and that.
We'll get out to all the Nintendo stuff
Yeah.
later. I'm not
But
asking you
okay.
everything you played, Fran.
I know.
I'm asking you for your top 3.
Tough for me to do.
Fran approved.
I think I got it right.
And then what's your number 1 then? What's your game of the show?
Game of the show for Fran.
It's probably Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's
Right
still
answer,
processing,
baby,
but
right
wow.
answer.
Hey,
I
you
was
lost.
wrong. And he lost.
Snow Like Mike made the right call.
Yeah, we needed a tiebreaker for our game of the show because I chose Final Fantasy, he chose Cyberpunk.
Oh, nice.
And then we had a debate on the show. And
Yeah.
Snowbike Mike ended up
Are we
going
going to talk
Cyberpunk.
about this on the show?
What's up?
I was just wondering if we're talking about those games on the show.
Oh yeah, we're talking about all of them, baby.
Whatever you want,
Andrea.
Fran.
What are
Yes.
the Andrea approved 3 games? And then what is the Andrea game of the show?
So this is I've been making this list because obviously we're both part of GCAs. That's kind of finding what's good. Are you guys? Does it count? Is it all games we saw, or does it have to have been playable?
We just do all games you saw. We don't do the playable stuff like the Keeleys do.
Okay. So for top 3, wait, 3 games I liked, and then I'll leave my game of show. Okay. I have to say Cyberpunk 2077 for sure. I was glad I got to see it this year. The demo looks awesome. I am excited to play, and I really liked what they showed us in the behind closed doors demo, and how, you know, kind of like really the layers of world building that they're doing in that game are really impressive, especially since it's all original stuff. They're not working off of like a existing intellectual property, a book series. I think maybe no,
brand
I don't
new?
think so. I think it's all like CDPR original stuff, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really impressive. And so the tech that they showed looks really cool. I was a little disappointed. It's a second year and we didn't get even like a small build to try out and see what the gameplay feels like. So I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah. I have thoughts on that.
But knowing their history and everything they did with The Witcher, I think they've set themselves up for some success, hopefully. So that's one for sure. I also was really impressed with Watch Dogs Legion and everything they showed. I was incredibly skeptical before they showed gameplay and before they gave hands-on. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, I'm going down this path. I love the idea of like there's these 3 archetype classes and that there's all these different NPCs that fit into them. Then you're kind of like building a squad that has like a mix and match of all these different kind of RPG mechanics.
They've all got perks. Or they only have 3 perks, but there's a million other perks.
Exactly. You can kind of tailor it to your personal play style. Like, do you want to go all drone commanders, or do you want to do people who all have stealth? And like,
Or
Old ladies. Just old ladies. Yeah.
I like
the
that one.
slowest squad in Watch Dogs Legion.
Hell yeah.
So I thought that was a really impressive showing for sure. And then also Final Fantasy VII Remake. I had no interest in this game before seeing the combat demo. And this is me as somebody who's never been a Final Fantasy player. I was forced into playing Final Fantasy IX on PS4 because Alexa Ray was like, you said you would do it. I was like, I did say I would do it, so I did it with her. And then I quit after like 15 hours.
did you play Final Fantasy 7 or just watch the
I've
demo?
never played.
No, this new one. The
No,
remake.
Britt got hands on though, and I watched a bunch of people play
Okay,
it.
cool.
But I personally did not get on the sticks and play.
So I love this right now where we're at, because you named Cyberpunk and Final Fantasy in your
Approved.
Andrea approved.
Me too, right?
Yes.
So what does that make your game of the show?
The Outer Worlds is my game of the show.
Nice. I can't wait.
Tell me more.
So I was incredibly impressed by everything I saw. So I've seen this game a couple of times now. Greg and I had the opportunity to see it at Judges Week, which was a different demo than the one that I saw at E3, which I liked. They got to see a little bit different side. We got to see more of the narrative consequences and choices that are going to be offered, whereas the demo we saw previously was a little bit more combat focused and skill tree focused. What I really love about this is that they're taking everything that Obsidian knows about making RPGs, the basis for why people loved what they did with Fallout New Vegas, and then just like polishing the shit out of it, so that they're not necessarily reinventing the wheel. Like you're seeing what CDPR is doing with Cyberpunk, and they're really kind of pushing the envelope for things that they've done in their gameplay techniques before. What I love about what Obsidian is doing with the Outer Worlds is they're like, we are going to give you gameplay that we know you want and that you love, and we're going to give it to you like super polished in a reasonable amount of time to play an open world sci-fi RPG.
Yeah, that's what they talk about this one, right? It's like 20, 30 hours.
No, they said it was more like 50, 60 hours.
It's a lot
Maybe
of
the
hours.
Golden Path or whatever
Yeah,
is
probably,
like
yeah.
20, 30 hours. But like
Can
if
never
you
believe
do
those.
side content, I mean, if you're in an open world RPG, who's doing Golden Path anyway, really? But what I like about it is that it's not something that I have to go in planning to spend 100, 200, 300 plus
You're
hours
never going to see
doing.
the end of, yeah.
Right. I like that they made it more of a bespoke experience versus this procedurally generated never-ending thing. Which is like, that's cool if that's what you're looking for, but that's not necessarily what I'm looking for as a gamer. So I was really impressed by it. I thought the gameplay looked great. I love that, it's that feeling that you get from any game that brings in narrative consequences with your choices, about really having to make that morally gray decision about like, oh gosh, is this the decision I want to make? And knowing that you're going to be missing out on something if you make one decision or another. But another game, oh dang, can we make it 5 instead of 4?
Go for it.
I think I did.
Well, the one that kind of rounds up my top 5 of V3 is Dying Light 2, which was a big surprise for me because I was not expecting to be impressed by what I saw there. Not because Techline doesn't know how to make games, because clearly they do, but because the idea of a zombie game just doesn't really blow my skirt up. I'm like, I'm okay. And like, quite frankly, the day-night cycle stuff that they did in the original Dying Light was cool, but it was too intense for me as a player, playing at night with all of these really crazy monsters just chasing you all the time. And so I haven't seen the night cycle stuff in Dying Light 2 yet because they haven't showed it yet. But the BCD demo that we got at E3 was really impressive from a open world traversal perspective. What they
the parkour looked awesome.
What they did to upgrade the parkour in this game was really impressive from the demo that they showed. And they also are bringing in these kind of big narrative choices that will affect your gameplay. I think he said something like there are like 40 plus different endings that you can get or something.
I can look at my notes.
Or maybe that's a different game.
I thought it was maybe teens for this one.
But essentially, like the idea that if you make one decision, it could open up this whole new section of the map and bring in these new infected that you have to fight. But if you make the other decision, maybe you never see that part of the map ever in your playthrough. Like that kind of stuff I think is really interesting from a narrative perspective. So
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, Dying Light. I just have 15 years later is the only number I have here. I don't have anything about the ending.
I think I asked the co-creative director when I was talking to him on the Facebook stage about it. And I think with that game, they said that there's no way to really computate a number because of the sheer amount of choices that they have within the narrative of the game.
Well, I mean, that was the thing with that behind closed doors demo, right? Where when, they made the choice to turn on the water pumps, right? That then gave you a giant new open world area to play in. And they're like, any questions? Like, yeah. So like you're talking about choices. Like if I did the choice where I don't turn on the water pumps, does that part of the world in all those quests stay submerged? He's like, yes. I was like, oh. Okay, you expect it to be some story decision that you make, but if you don't make it, well then somebody else does something else that does it anyway. That because obviously they spent a lot of time and money to make all that,
building that part of the world.
And they're like, no, just not there in this playthrough. I'm like, all right, cool.
That's crazy. Last Gamescast, when we did it with Easy Allies, we were talking a little bit about my impressions of Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yeah.
Fran, you got to play it.
I did.
What are your thoughts as a guy that I feel like the game's a bit more up your alley?
Yeah. It absolutely stood out. Like it was one on my mind to throw in that list. But I really like squad-based co-op combat. Obviously, Division 2.
That's right.
Right. Let's go. New classification. What is it called? The new
specialization is out.
Specialization is out there. FYI, man.
Fake fan. You know what I mean?
The gunner's out. Anyway,
tell me about that Destiny Power Lord, though. You know what I mean?
So I really like Breakpoint because it is, unlike Division 2, it is so up close and brutal. It is very realistic, for lack of a better way to put it. So people probably already know a lot of that about it, but if you get a wound, you might get it in a certain place. You got to bandage up. You have to take your time. You really can't get shot down without coordinating with people.
End.
So I love playing with other people. It remains to be seen as a single-player experience, and you can play it as a single-player experience. Yeah, siren's on our end, right? But I really like it. I like that it just felt so up close and brutal. I thought the demo was okay, though. It was just hard. It's hard to get into a demo like that when I only had an hour. And even then, you spent the first 15 minutes like here's this button, and here's where your loadouts are. And then
how did you get through your inventory, Fran?
Yeah, right, exactly. Here's your inventory.
I mean, I was kind of talking about this a bit. Like, first off, not my type of game, typically. Yeah. Also, I thought that was one of the worst demos I've ever been a part of. And I think a lot of it just had to do with who I was playing with and how it was all presented and how late in the show it was. But it wasn't a great showing of the game.
Do one of the producers, whatever, walk you
through, or kind of just like so rapidly was, cool, we're doing this. Now we're going to do this. Now it's like, okay, whoa.
Well, it's probably because you're talking about the showcase, like Ubisoft's press conference?
After it,
No, I'm talking about like the hands-on.
Okay.
Playing
Gotcha.
it at the booth.
So, you played it at the booth.
At the Ubisoft booth.
So I played it.
Yeah.
They had a after the conference. You go to one of their event hubs.
Got it.
We went and played it. I wonder if it was the same. How long did you get to play?
About almost an hour, maybe 45 minutes.
So it's probably very similar. Someone was on comms with you and walking you through it. Yeah. So I had the same experience, and that's what that's my caveat. Is I was like, well, I didn't really have a chance to experience exactly how I would have because someone's like pushing us, and I had to play with these other people, and like, I would have rather directed, and even if I didn't know what I was doing, because like that's the experience is making that choice. But I like the intensity of it, and I just leave it at that. I like some of the skills. You can watch the trailer and announcement for all the stuff that's in there, but basically we ended up a little late into it where you had to throw EMP tanks at this giant tank. You had to switch your loadout, get a bazooka or missile launcher or whatever. You had to make sure to get ammo for it, and you had to coordinate as a team to do all this. And it was definitely, that was the most challenging thing they said that was on our map.
Yeah, we did the same thing as well. The rocket launchers towards the tanks.
And it's funny because the dude helped so much that I actually didn't think it was that difficult, but I could see it being difficult.
Yeah, because the idea was it's like you had your 4 people, you needed to each bring out your rocket launcher and shoot it, but you can't all do it from the same vantage point. Like you all need to kind of like
he's chasing
surround this tank and take it down. Did you find the controls cumbersome?
Oh yeah, I mean, with that type of game though, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I thought the weapon wheel, or not even weapon wheel, inventory wheel,
everything
because
wheel,
it's like
right?
it's like it's your band-aids, it's your health spray, it's all your weapons is on the same wheel.
Yeah,
weird.
Let me say this much though, I got an hour into it. I felt like it finally sunk in. That's the only thing I would just add is this is totally the type of game, like, I mean, Division's that way. Like, until you play for a good, honestly, hour or more, it's so hard you don't feel comfortable.
Wrap your head around all that stuff.
And you got somebody wheeling you around, go here, go here. It's really hard to process the game. I think that's why they did have some 2-hour demos going. I would have liked to spend some time with that. But what I was going to add is at the very end, I finally was, okay, now I know where everything's at. Now, I just got this shotgun. I'm like, let's go. I know
Shotty
where
Bugatti.
And they're like, that's the end of the demo. And you had to like peel me off of it at the end.
That's good.
So that was a good sign for me.
Did Wildlands? Did you play Wildlands? Did that click for you?
Oh, I didn't get to play it.
Gotcha.
Wait. No. Sorry.
Ghost Recon Wildlands, yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking about Outer Wilds. Yeah, I played Wildlands, and
Yeah.
I did like it.
Yeah.
It had all the right ideas, and I think that's what this sort of helps bring together as well. Like, it goes deeper, a little more serious. I thought the quest and storyline that you followed in Wildlands was not great. It was sort of tedious. You had to unlock all these different parts of the map, and I don't know if this is going to do anything like that. But again, what I liked is I use the word intensity and close up. That's what this feels like to me. It gets really close over your shoulder. It's very much about you, and you can get hurt very easily. So I think it's got a lot of potential actually as a squad-based, co-op game. I don't know about single player yet. That's really hard to say. So wait, so you didn't? It's not your type of game anyway.
Not my type of game, but even then I didn't like it. I thought that it didn't demo well, and I think that a lot of the controls, even if you get used to them later, it doesn't make them good. Like, I didn't like how you had to equip the rocket launcher and then hold the button
change your loadout.
Bring the animation up, and just like if you let go, it went away instantly. And I'm like, that doesn't add up. It's like I feel like it's at odds with itself. With
I had
being
trouble
realistic.
with the rocket launcher too. It's just like so early for me to say yay or nay and condemn that because
Score it right now.
I'm used to, again,
Doesn't
these
this come out
games
this fall?
Yeah, it comes out in September, I think. No,
Breakpoint?
there's a beta in September. And then the actual official release date is September, October. I forget. I feel like it's
Andrea's
October.
on the case. Don't worry.
We'll pull it up right
John
now.
Bernthal and
But
Bam Bam
that's
will
it.
tell you
I'm
about
glad
it.
I'm here though, Tim, because you'd be like, yeah, it was cumbersome, didn't do it for me. Totally
October
valid points.
4th.
October 4th.
I mean,
There you
that's
go.
not a lot of time to take into feedback if they are running into other people.
Yeah,
I
no, I don't
haven't
think
seen
they're-
other hands-on impressions.
I will say that everyone that was in the room with me doing the demo, not just my squad, but like everyone kind of seemed like, oh, all right, cool. Like, they just kept. I'm like, yeah, okay, now equip this. Now go to that loadout. Cool, go. And everyone's like, I don't know about this.
It's complicated. I mean, again, you can't just hop in and expect to know all this stuff.
And
So
that's
again, I'm not
super
defending
fair.
it yet. It's early, but I would say you should have expected that going in. It is just that type of game that there's a lot going on. Like, I definitely felt intimidated at first. I was like, where is all this stuff? And you had, your loadouts change in the menu. Yeah, which I definitely thought I was like, what?
But
as I
I will
started to
say
go down
that
path, I was
the
getting
Wildlands demo was one of my favorite E3 demos we've ever done. When it was me and Greg, and like when the first time we played, and they brought us in, and it was kind of like rating the
Our alpha
area,
team.
and like that stuff was awesome. And it's like very similar. So
I felt, but it was less complex, as I recall, from what you could do. Yeah, you didn't have to bandage up first and then heal yourself, and the way you go stealth, like all those things that's fine, by the way. I liked Wildlands, but it is very, I don't want to say surface level because it was deeper than that, but this goes really deep from what I could tell with my hands on. So there's just like a lot to learn. And frankly, like I feel like if you hop into we'll talk about FF7 Remake later, but right? There's a process where you're like, wait, what am I doing? Once it sinks in, you're good, but beforehand, you're like, does this even make sense? I mean, so I feel like it's one of those games. You got to have time with it.
Sure, that's most games.
let's
But you
jump
guys
right
didn't
into
get
it
a
then.
chance to play it?
No.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
Fran,
I've already
what'd
been talking it. I didn't want to take it over. Like,
I mean, people, kind of funny Gamescast listeners have heard me talk about E3.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
more
Yeah,
your
that's
guys'
like, we
show.
already kind of gave
It's
it
your
there,
guys'
so we're
show
gonna
at
get
this
back
point.
to-
you had to watch.
No, yeah. So I didn't personally hold the controller, but I, watched the presentation at the Square Enix press conference and got to see some people playing it on the show floor. I think that what they're doing with the updated combat is really cool. I think it appeals to people like me who were never interested in a Final Fantasy game that was, old turn-based method, right? But I'm really more interested in the Final Fantasy 15 style of third-person combat. That to me is more exciting, but I like how they've kept that kind of classic tactical mode in to kind of make it, give it like a nod to the turn-based ways of yore, or however you want to refer to it. And the animation looks great. Obviously, like there was still more to be seen about what is this extra stuff that they're adding in to fill out so many additional hours of gameplay. Like how much extra narrative does that, what does that look like? What does that mean? How does it change the original storytelling of the game? I think that there's still a lot of unknowns, but it seems like people are pretty hyped for it.
Yeah.
I would say that with everything they showed here, I feel like it's all hints of going in a good direction. Like how they're going to fill it out. All the new stuff we saw, dialogue-wise, character-wise, and even plot-wise of like what was going on with Sephiroth and stuff. I think that it's very much in good hands, and I have full faith that they're going to kind of succeed with this vision of what they're trying to do of remaking this game, not just for the people that love the original, but for new people, but also just making this just a good game without having to stand on what came before. I think that I was saying this in the last episode, but the similarities to 15, I think, are just visually, just looking at it, it plays totally different than 15. It is way more action based until you get to the turn based. It's not so much like a either or. It's like you need the action parts to kind of build up so you like slash a bunch to build up your gauge to then be able to use the more. It's not turn based, but things slow down.
Yeah, the
more menu
mode.
based kind of tactical decision and a lot of strategy comes into play of using your different spells and when to switch between the characters and stuff. And I've never played a game like that seamlessly combines the fast paced action with the more methodical RPG elements that in a way that worked. Final Fantasy 13 tried to introduce that, but anytime it slowed down, it felt like it was a different game. This doesn't feel like a different game.
Yeah, the only game that kind of makes me think of a semi-similar situation was what they were doing in Dragon Age Inquisition, right, where you have your party members and they each have individual skills, and then you could go into that like top-down tactical mode. Do you guys remember that?
I do remember that.
I didn't play it.
But I mean, obviously different, but semi-similar. It's what I always really wanted out of Mass Effect's combat with your squad mates with their individual powers that you've leveled up. To be able to like hot swap between those characters was like the dream, and that just never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hit me, Fran.
So yeah, that's good. Good point of context.
Final Fantasy.
Ooh, I like this.
You're
I like
welcome.
where this is going. So yes, I was a huge Final Fantasy VII fan. So formative in my growing up. I actually only had an N64, and my friend had a PlayStation, and we had to trade. He wanted to play GoldenEye, and we'd play it at my house anyway, but he wanted to have that and other stuff, and I wanted to play PlayStation, so I borrowed his PlayStation, which later led to a corrupted save file.
Oh.
He's my best friend probably in all of life. So we've blasted through it. And
That must have been, it was a tough time
It was
there.
hard to explain. I was like, I don't know what happened. It just, the save corrupted. Anyway.
Fran, it's years later. You can admit you pull it out and then say.
I mean,
They warn you, Fran.
so I was a huge fan of FF7. I've been waiting for this forever, like everybody else. I have actually been, not intentionally media blackout, but I maybe unknowingly I have been. So I actually didn't see the Square conference. I didn't have time before I had a chance to play it. So I kind of went in pretty fresh, not knowing more than what I've seen in the trailers. Okay, so just to set things up, again, as a reminder, yes, it's a remake of Final Fantasy VII. We know it's chapterized or well, we don't know for sure.
There's going to be more than
It's
one
episodic
game.
or
That's
something.
all we
It's
know.
gonna split it up.
They're
Yeah,
not using the word episodic. They're staying away from that, and they're not saying how many games are going to come. But,
But
they're
It'll be
saying
like
that
Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
yes,
reliving-
they're saying that it's up till the end of Midgard.
Yeah.
in this.
That's right. This is Midgard. You're reliving the characters and the story, and they're doing other stuff in there. But anyway, so I went in pretty fresh. And number one, what stood out to me a ton was actually, yes, the production value. It shouldn't surprise me with Square, but that maybe above all is what stood out. I was like, wow, like how close up it is on the characters, the detail of all the worlds. And actually, when you get into the boss scene, I was really impressed with just the amount of like custom, like close up cutscenes and things happening to keep you engaged during battle.
That weren't QuickTime events.
No, it's in the middle of like damaging the boss. Yeah, it'll just be like, it like pulls back. Yeah, it's not a QuickTime event. It's you did some damage, right? And then all of a sudden it's like this scene, but it's custom. And there's like close-ups and mid-range shots. And I thought that was really impressive. I just was thinking about other games I play and I was like, not a lot of games go to this amount of detail. Granted, this was just one boss and this one level and how much of this is going to happen, but I was like really impressed with how cinematic that boss fight felt for what it was. I don't know. How did you feel about what
I
was happening
totally
with the
agree.
game?
And I mean, I feel like Square, you know, for all the shit that they get and in a lot of cases deserve, the production value is always the one thing that they knock out of the park. Like with Final Fantasy 15, the boss fights were that way, where it's like every single one was equally momentous, like
epic.
fighting the
That's
Titan.
what Final
It's
Fantasy's
like,
known
whoa,
for.
exactly. And it's like 15 finally hit that point, I think, where I remember growing up watching Advent Children, the Final Fantasy 7 movie, and just being like, oh my God, can you imagine being able to play this? Like that's insane. And now it's like, no, that's the case. Like that's what this is now. And I love the cinematic camera of the gameplay that backs everything up of switching between characters. Did you do that
Yes.
at all?
Oh, yeah.
When you switch between Cloud and Barrett. Like just the way
Maybe too many.
it's seamless. Like you hit up and down on the D-pad and it'll just like the camera goes out a little bit, goes over quickly, and then like goes back in, and it's just like it feels so good.
It's pretty good, yeah. So you real-time switch between characters where Cloud and Barrett, one obviously with like a big giant minigun and Cloud with his sword. Yeah, you just press the D-pad and it fast swaps wherever. Overall, I felt it was good. Definitely, like any game like this, the camera's not always quite where you want it to be, but you have full control. Yeah, I definitely.
Oh, I thought it was great.
It definitely got in. Like there'd be times where the boss was like in between and you just spin it around, like you fix it. But I definitely didn't feel like it was some perfect system. Like you know, not that it was bad, by the way.
I was very impressed with the camera
You
work
didn't feel you
specifically.
needed to adjust it. Okay.
No,
I did.
I felt more because like the thing is you're kind of auto targeting on these, right? So it's I feel like it looks more similar to like a third person action game, and it's not that. So it's like the moment you just kind of lock on, then all you need to really worry about is like your menus of what spells you're casting.
And, you know, part of it maybe is just my playstyle. I like a certain frame on the boss and seeing myself and also my other character, but whatever. So jumping to the next point, the new combat system. Yeah, I would say that absolutely surprised me that it pulled it off in a way that does feel modern, but still respectful to call it the ways of yore. Like you said, it is turn-based in a moment, but you're right. It's a progressive new combat system. So you have real time, right? I'm Cloud. I got a giant sword. I can just like block bullets and stuff and get up close and start slashing at someone. So that now builds my next level, right? So I'm building this meter to unlock the the turn-based style combat, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works. You have like what I saw there was 2 meters that you fill up. So each one
You
you
get
can,
2 slots to fill up, yeah.
Right,
And
so-
it's not turn-based. Like we keep saying turn-based.
Well,
it's
I'm getting
absolutely
there.
not.
It's not, but it is the same thing. So here's why it is turn-based for a moment.
It's menu-based.
Okay. Semantical you should work for the marketing department. I follow you. But like you
Fran,
literally
got
press a
some
button
sass.
and you build a meter. No, it's
Don't
true.
tell
though.
Fran he's wrong. He
He's
doesn't
right.
take it well.
You're not taking turns.
No, because you're right that it's not, but it's also semantical because I'm going to argue it is because as soon as you finally build a meter and you press the button, it does stop. Action stops. It's your turn to make a decision. You have a moment to, is it slow motion-ish?
It's slow-mo, yeah. It doesn't stop.
There's a lot
but
of time.
if there's not a moment
You're
where
right.
you can't
It's-
act because the boss is taking his turn, then it's not turn-based.
Yeah,
Was there that moment where you couldn't move or do anything
Okay.
because the boss was setting up a spell or an attack against you?
You're right, actually. You're right. The boss doesn't take its turn.
Right. So then it's not turn-based.
It's half turn-based then. You take your turn, and the boss doesn't get to. You don't get to. Here, I'm going to argue. You don't get to see the boss. He's doing it. You don't get to see it.
Okay.
That's like another level of role play out there.
Fran,
happening.
you're coming to Jesus on this, and I like it. And it's also time to probably admit Double Dash, not a 7-9. Higher than that, all right? Let's just get him
Anyway,
out.
so
Wouldn't it feel, get that weight off your shoulder, you know?
Another day, another time. So anyway, I really like it though. So you build a meter and you get into this next level of combat. So both characters are building it. You can switch between it. to use these really cool moves. You can also heal and take the moments to do stuff like that. So I really like that you go slow-mo, use these really cool moves that have cool animations and all that. And then, of course, you have the top level, which is your Limit Break, which is your super. So you're building all this stuff, and it feels great. Yeah, like you said, I loved all of the feel of everything. So I'm pretty hyped about it now that I'm seeing it, because the production value, it was fun to play. It didn't feel broken or awkward or boring. You know, it was fun to take that boss down. Boss had different parts that you were focused on. You could play your way. I actually realized too late I was focusing on just the main centerpiece for the whole time, so I didn't break the legs. Does something happen to you know if you break the legs?
If you break the legs down, then it's like, immobile and it doesn't shoot as many of the rockets.
But
and stuff.
I ended up not doing that because I was just like going hype, and I was excited to play it. So really happy with that. And the last note I would make is the visuals, though, I'm still getting used to. It's this really weird, like highly dithered look. There's this noisiness, not quite a film grain. I don't know if it's because of the hair and some of the stuff they're doing. Some of it's good because it's not clean, but it's got this dithered, noisy look. Like almost the screen door effect is on a lot. Did you notice that?
I see what you're talking about, but I feel like that's always been the case with Final Fantasy VII's art style. Like it always has the kind of like dirty air look.
Yeah, part of it is it's also just the engine and the way that it's dithering between stuff. Anyway, not a problem, but it took some getting used to. I'm curious if it was the TV, if it was 4K, like who knows?
Yeah.
And it's not final.
Did you see the behind closed doors like demonstration before you got to play?
Yeah, they did like the tutorial thing first, right? So I saw all that, the explanation. That was pretty cool. But it didn't show us anything really different than the demo, did it?
So did you just do the thing where like they play the demo on the TV and then you get to go in, or did you do the thing that was like an hour-long thing before you got to play?
I didn't see the hour-long
Okay, cool. That was like the producer playing through, showing a lot more of just like what the overworld stuff looks like. Or not overworld, but like playing through the mission, not just the like, let's get to the boss part.
Oh, cool.
It's like above all, this is not turn-based.
First thing
very specifically
is not turn-based.
Andrea.
Yes.
What game do you want to talk about here? You want to talk about Watch Dogs Legion a little bit?
Maybe not Watch Dogs, because I didn't get as much time with that as my coworkers did.
It's awesome. Get excited. Get hyped.
Yeah, let me look through my notes really quick about the games that I got to play that we didn't really get to talk about yet. Well, we didn't talk about Journey to the Savage Planet or Control.
Control.
From 505.
Yeah, I wanted to try that. I didn't get a
we
chance.
didn't get to talk about... I could talk about Darksiders Genesis.
Hell yes.
Oh.
A game I haven't talked on the other shows about that I'm super stoked for.
Yeah, so this was one of those games that was embargoed until the Tuesday of E3 when they opened the show floor, and then they had kiosks for everybody at E3 to go and try out Darksiders Genesis. So this is being published by THQ Nordic, being developed by Airship Syndicate. We got a chance to get a deep dive with it during Judges Week, which was great because we got like 45 to 60 minutes to really play through the whole demo. I don't know how long the demo was that they had on the show floor. And what's up over there, Kevin?
Too much pizza for Kevin.
Exactly.
He's got the cheese crazies.
So they had this new horseman, Strife, that they've introduced, who we got to play as, but then they also have War coming back as a playable character, and so it's a co-op game between Strife and War. I actually really preferred Strife's gameplay style because he's a little bit more nimble, more like he can tumble a little bit faster, and then he's got these dual blades, which are really cool.
Now, hard
There's a
pause.
question.
Do you know anything about Darksiders Genesis?
That's what I was gonna say. If you could say, I think I do, and I'm like, is this like a
Okay.
Diablo? Like I'm not sure.
Walking into it, that was my thing. Where they're like, "Oh, Diablo Genesis or Darksiders Genesis." Like, oof, I'm not a Darksiders guy. And it was no. This is a new take on Darksiders. This is not the Darksiders you know. Yes, it is like a Diablo. It is an action RPG.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
all isometric.
exactly.
top-down-ish.
Go in there, fight the things, get the loot, go through, and get better or whatever.
Yeah,
and
so-
I was
Is
like,
it a
oh,
roguelike?
Yeah, so just to set it up, since you guys are bringing up a good point that a lot of people don't know about Darksiders. So originally a hack and slash action adventure video game. We've got 3 of them. The series is set in post-apocalyptic Earth where mankind has become extinct and angels and demons battle for the world's control. Among them are the Four horsemen of the apocalypse. This is just literally straight from Wikipedia, by the way. The last of the Nephilim, who are tasked to bring balance and order. So essentially, you've got these 4 horsemen, and they're the stars of the game. And So in this one, it's Strife and War. Those are the only 2 playable. And I asked them if, I kind of was like, why? You've got all these great horsemen. Why not make them all playable? And they're kind of like left it unanswered.
So did they say the other ones won't be in the game exclusively?
That was
or you're
my
not
understanding from the questions that I asked them, that it was just going to be Strife and War. But who knows?
I imagine you'll see them pop up in terms of a cutscene. They're doing their thing. They're on their own action.
Yeah, they appear in the game, but I don't believe they're going to be
them.
playable.
Yeah, 100%,
right.
yeah.
So it's co-op, online multiplayer, or local split screens you can choose. And then if you're playing solo, you can swap between the characters.
Oh.
And so it is very much that Diablo top-down isometric look.
You have an AI partner if you're
playing
running
solo.
Yeah. Which is what we did. We
really
were all playing
designed
solo.
for co-op then. Wow.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
So I asked them about damage scaling in co-op, and they said there is none, but that maybe that they would add a limiter in the future. There's a variety of vendors that you can find that you can buy upgrades for, because there is, like a skill tree for the horseman that you're playing as. And what I really liked about the gameplay is that it really kind of did this nice combination of some traversal puzzles with really great, top-down hack and slash combat, which was just it was just really fun to play. Now the build that we played had a few issues, but it was pre-alpha, so kind of, we forgive builds for being a little buggy when they're in that state. And for people who are concerned or curious, I should say, about the narrative, it is a standalone story that takes place before Darksiders 1. So if you're really into the Darksiders franchise, it's after the war in Eden and after the Nephilim have been destroyed and they've just become the horsemen. So they're
the Genesis of the horsemen.
Correct.
There you
Darksiders
go.
Genesis.
Look at that.
Hence
Nailed
the
it.
name.
Yeah, for me, again, not having any background with it, I was surprised. For me with THQ Nordic, this is the one I walked out the most impressed with, and the one that it was for that day, I think, the game where I was like, this is the one I want the most, because I want this on my Switch right now. I want to be able to play this on the plane, on the bus, or whatever. It was just, the gameplay was so good. It felt good to hack and slash. It felt good to roll around as the different characters, right? Strife, more fast than War, right? There's actually a different thing. So when we were approaching bosses or baddies, it was like, well, what is the approach I want? And I could switch off between it. I thought it was colorful. I thought the world looked good. Again, like you said, very early. There was the one, I think I mentioned this at the time when we were embargoed, that I had one of the weirdest things happen to me in a demo. This is the game where I got to a point and I got stuck and I popped off my ear, and Joe Mads, and I was like, Joe, what am I not doing? He came over, he's like, oh yeah, it seemed like there was signposting issues, right? He's like, you don't have to worry about that. You're trying to get into a secret area, but it looks like it's the main area. There's a ladder over there that's hidden. I was like, oh, it was just not lit up the right way. It's great. And then as I went to put it back on, everyone else started hitting the exact same thing.
I had
and Joe,
that exact
and
same
it was
wall too.
literally,
Oh, Joe had to tell everybody.
It's like the nightmare for a developer, because
Right.
he literally was like, oh man, I told them we should have done something different here and not put this in the demo. And everyone, of course, we all get it. Oh my God, it's an unfinished game. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And it didn't take away from it. Still the game that I was like, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow. This is the game I'd want with me.
But you did hit a confusing point, and hopefully they iron stuff like
I think
that out.
yeah. And I mean, they knew ahead of time. It was just, getting their demo ready. That's what they ran with.
Yeah, we see that stuff all the time.
Yeah. But like you said, the traversal stuff was great. The combat was great. I thought the characters felt different enough. What do you got for me, Fran?
What is the combat? I mean, is it very super powered? Is it a lot of different buttons? Is it simple?
No, it's mostly it's mostly like a 2-button system. So I mean, you have a light attack, a heavy attack, a dodge or evade, and then you have a powered up attack that you kind of build up over. It refreshes over time, and then it's like a super. So when I was playing as Strife, you would hit the double shoulder buttons or whatever, and then he would go into this giant flaming monster looking thing with this giant axe that you could use to do really big damage against bosses. But what was interesting is that they put us into this dungeon run mode where we got to fight one of the big bosses, because the boss we fought in that main demo was just a mini boss, which was still a pretty tough boss. But in the dungeon run mode where we got to fight this giant boss, that whole boss fight, if you beat it, and I didn't spend the amount of time because we had X amount of games we had to play, would be a 45-minute boss fight. So almost kind of raid-like, but not, because it's just co-op. It's not a big group activity.
Totally dug it. Really excited for it. For me, it's striking the same notes that I liked of why I was excited about Marvel Ultimate Alliance. However, I feel like this is the better game of those two. Yeah, because to your point of like when we were playing Ultimate Alliance, like I feel like this game has a more, I know what this is. There's only 2 characters, obviously, so they feel different. They feel more unique, which is what we were talking about playing Ultimate Alliance 3, where it was like, I'm Cap, but you're Wolverine. It doesn't feel like there's that much of a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting. Kind of speaking about that, I want to talk about Nintendo, Fran. But before we do that, let me tell you that this episode is brought to you by some beautiful sponsors. Nintendo, baby.
Yeah.
E3 booth. What'd you get to play?
Just the big 3 that I considered anyway, which was Pokemon, Zelda, and Luigi.
Did you get to play any Nintendo games?
I missed the Nintendo booth appointment with the girls because I was hosting on the Facebook stage. So did not get to see the booth. Wah, wah.
Let's go
Marvel
through
Ultimate
'em.
Alliance is one of the big 3. All right.
You just trash talked it next to Genesis.
I like it a lot.
I don't know. I think I've heard enough.
I'm so fast.
Talk to me about Pokemon. I did not play Pokemon. I watched people do the demo, but I was kind of like, I get it. I know what this is. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, here's the deal.
Okay, he
Number
was falling
one.
asleep there,
I'm
everybody.
joking.
It doesn't have
Sorry,
enough
everybody.
engrams for him.
No. So, well, yes, that's true. Destiny joke, everybody. Get with it. Okay, number 1, I'm not. It's not that I'm against Pokemon. I liked Pokemon Go and recently Pokemon
Let's Go.
Let's Go, but I never really got into the Game Boy stuff just for time's sake.
You're gonna love Pokemon
I know
Sleep.
that I would have enjoyed it. Oh, Pokemon Sleep, that's right. Which is funny now that I just was jokingly sleeping. But anyway, long story short, I just don't think the demo is any good.
It's so hard to demo a Pokemon game.
Dude,
That's why I didn't
let's
play it.
just- Describe what the demo was.
I think it is.
Why is it hard to demo a Pokemon game?
Because I think it's hard to demo any turn-based RPG.
Okay, let's go over what the demo was and why. I just don't think it was a good idea. I felt like it was for like kids. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it was bad. But
I mean,
they,
it's
Perhaps because
Pokemon.
like, what did you
Pokemon
do?
is for
Did you go
children.
straight into that gym
Y'all
with the
need
switches?
to grow up.
I didn't play it.
Okay, well,
I just watched people do it.
I'm
Because
pretty
I
sure
know.
that's it.
I'm like, I don't need to get my hands on Pokemon.
So basically, all you did, you will know there were 2 things that you did, as I recall. So one, you get put into pretty quickly after some dialogue, I think, into like a little gym with these great pathways, and there's like these water pipes that are pouring water down onto the path, so you can't proceed. And there's red and yellow switches, and you're going around just figuring out the switches, and in between, of course, there's some other Pokemon trainers like, wait a second, where are you going? And then you got to fight them and how fast you do it based on what you have, which is already your loadout. So it's clearly a little bit into the game probably, but I just didn't enjoy, like, I've done this 1,000 billion times in video games. So doing some switches, figuring out the puzzle, and just doing some basic fights. Fights that I feel didn't really offer anything more than when I was playing
But you can get big now.
Yes.
Did you ever
so
go
I'm getting
big?
there.
The Dynamax you're talking about?
So,
Dynamax.
I think it's right after this that you go into, the stadium. So they let you try the stadium out. And you get into a fight, really big fight, and you use, the Dynamax, and you have this really big Pokemon. And it was a cool fight. So I
Were you
think,
the Corgi?
Oh, I don't
You make a big
remember,
Corgi?
man. I don't remember.
Fran?
I honestly don't remember what Pokemon.
You would
I
remember
couldn't
the
name
big
a
You
single
didn't even
Corgi.
give this game a chance.
I tried all the different Pokemon. Again, I'm not a Pokemon expert. I apologize, but I'm not going to be a fake fan and pretend that I know all the Pokemon's names and stuff. So
I don't
anyway,
even know the
got into
Corgi's
fight.
name. I'm just calling
I
it the
thought-
Corgi.
So here's
It's new,
my
yeah.
brief overview, which was like I was looking forward to playing an open world that had sort of something to it that I could feel, and like I didn't get that demo, so
Yeah.
that must be coming later. But they did something that was just
Yamper.
very like it just didn't feel like.
Yamper?
Yamper
Yamper.
Oh yeah, I tried Yamper.
is the Corgi
I did
Pokemon.
There's a heart in his butt.
Oh, it's got a little like fur.
Little fur butt. Little Corgi fur butt.
In any event, the stadium stuff was cool, and I like Dynamax, and I think that's the new thing. But it just was all very basic, and so it just wasn't an exciting demo. And when we get to Luigi, I think you'll hear why I'm just
Mario.
next.
Let's get right into it, dude. Luigi, baby.
Then let's jump into it. Like, so I played even Zelda, and by the way, huge Zelda fan. I played Zelda, and I just was like, okay,
Wait,
I'm
forget
really,
Luigi. Let's talk about Zelda.
No, yeah, but
Zelda got one of my game of the show.
yeah, let's do
approved
this.
things.
Let's lead on to save the best for last.
Oh.
And here's why. Again, I'm not saying that Zelda may not be even the best of the 3 at the end of the day. Like, right, Link's Awakening seems really cool. I love the style. Again, very, very basic demo. Cool style. It was just a taste of the style. Pokemon was the same thing, but from a gameplay perspective, and you know me, I'm all about the gameplay mechanics. I was just like, okay, go into the, the Lost Woods and go over and push this thing and get in. And actually, I like it. I know that I'm going to like it because it's Zelda, but the demo itself just wasn't that exciting. There was nothing new to it. So Maybe just stopping on that. Did you like how the style
I
delivered?
loved it.
I really like.
I think the style
Style, it looks
delivered
beautiful.
everything I needed. I already know the gameplay's there for Link's Awakening. I thought that they did a very good job of making me want to go back now to revisit that world and see everything it has to offer. And it's been long enough since I played Link's Awakening that I don't remember every single thing to do.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played Link's Awakening, so this will be new to me,
Really?
which is good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was just on Game Boy only.
That's great,
and
man.
I just don't think I got through it.
Again, then it got re-released on Game Boy Color.
What I
Never
will
forget
say
DX.
is, yeah, true. I had many missed opportunities apparently. So really like the style. I will be knocking Switch, however, for its performance. It's not a finished game, so we'll of course see if it improves. Just the blurriness and the frame rate occasionally.
It's not
hitching.
blurriness. It's tilt shift.
It's tilt shift, sure, but. I'm not saying I like the style, Tim. I'm just saying all things combined, it feels a little like it's supposed to be dreamy, but it's hitching a little bit. I almost felt like it'd be better as a.
I was gonna say, Kevin. Yeah.
If it was 60 frames a second, I think I would just be glorious.
Yeah.
it was not 60, and that is
it wasn't even
true.
close.
It's like
it was 25 to 30.
And I feel like it is a
Really
performance issue that I agree. I hope they clear up by the time it actually releases.
Thank you.
Because it wasn't as smooth and flawless as it should feel for a game that's a remake of a Game Boy game, even if the style is beautiful. But the blur and stuff, like that's built into the
No,
art
I
style.
love the tilt shift stuff. No, but I'm saying all things combined, my point I'm trying to make is it's supposed to retain the sort of dreamy state. I think if and when they get it locked to 30, it'll be fine because it won't pull you out of it because of what it was. It just felt a little sluggish at
Claustrophobic.
times. But I love the style. It really is beautiful. I just love seeing something new in terms of the Zelda style. But gameplay wise, I mean, I don't know. You didn't do that much in the demo, right? That you haven't done.
Did everything you need to do, though.
Walked in a couple houses, pushed a couple rocks and went and grabbed something.
But what I was saying last time that I was really impressed by is I feel like it showed off enough different areas, whether you're in the house or in the woods
yeah.
or down by the beach or whatever, and seeing the creative ways Nintendo uses the art style that it has to like kind of all add up to this whole, I thought was really impressive.
Yeah, and it does look good. I am excited for it. I think it's the jaded Zelda gamer coming out in me. Like, I've played so much Zelda, so I'm very looking forward to. I mean, when Breath of the Wild came out, it blew my mind, and that's why I'm excited for the sequel. It's I also like the 2D style stuff. It's just it's easy to not be excited by them anymore because you kind of know what to expect. So we'll see if there's any surprises.
That's why I'm excited for it, because I know what to expect.
you know what to
I didn't play Link's Awakening either, so I'm going in. But I just love a good Zelda, and like I'm totally down to push blocks and get my
It's a good
bottles out.
Zelda, and it's weird too. Like it's
is
not
weird.
Link to the Past. It's like
You're
because the Game Boy had such weird limitations, I feel like it had to have a different gameplay style. You were limited by the shape of the screen, how big the screen was of what you could show. So it's like they had to get really weird with some of the things that you had to do. And I think that translating that into modern times is going to be fun. I think they're going to do it well.
Don't let me being jaded and liking new PC 60 frames a second games. Like, I just wanted to make that note. I'm
You could
excited
plug an
for it.
AMD Radeon card into this thing, you'd be stoked.
NVIDIA GeForce. What are you talking about? I'm excited for it. It's going to be a good game. I'm very confident. The style and everything is going to be awesome. People are going to be happy. So, Luigi's Mansion, the reason I was saving it is just like, again, from a gameplay perspective, and I've always been a Luigi's Mansion fan.
Hell yeah.
Obviously played the GameCube version a ton, played the 3DS version quite a bit. I can't remember if I beat it, but I always was playing it on planes. And so, yeah, they just did a great job with upgrading but retaining what it is. And so there's just plenty of puzzles like in every room and adding. Now you have multiple Luigis to manage.
Luigi.
So you're managing physics-based
Star
puzzles,
V3.
right? You're pushing fans to try to get cages to come down that have keys. They've got hidden, Easter egg type stuff that you can collect within the world. So there's just like a lot to do. And then the best part of all is just with all the physics, you'll do stuff like there's a ghost, the shield, you'll shoot your plunger at it. Then you got to suck the plunger back. You pop the shield off. Then you blink,
Hit it with the light.
You
and then
blink the ghost if you want. That's the best way to do it. And then you grab it, and the new mechanic of you actually like
Slam
press
it,
A
right?
beat the
Yeah.
hell out
and
of
use
it.
the analog stick to slam it all over the place. In the end, you can hit other ghosts with that ghost while you're slamming it around. So it becomes just like a really good gameplay loop, going room to room doing that. And like I know I'm going to have a blast playing this game. As long as it's not repetitive and it's clever, and it really seems to be, I'm pretty excited about this now.
I loved how tactile it all felt. Like when you're talking about doing all that stuff, it very quickly became second nature. And I loved how in control it
Feels
really
good.
felt almost like rhythm gamey of just like the bop, 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 boom to get it into it. I love the character of the worlds. I love the ghost
so
all
pretty.
is just so fun and weird and goofy and unique. And like you can just kind of, the way that they animate and the way that they move, it's like you understand who they are and you understand how you're supposed to take them down or whatever. And
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
like,
it's probably one of the best looking Switch games when you think about it, right?
It's very impressive looking. I will
close
say
look.
that the controls felt kind of clawy to me at points, where I felt like my hand was doing a little too many things at once. Where like I'm trying to, I would like the option to be able to change my controls so that like the flashlight being on A while also aiming with the stick and all that stuff. I was like, oh, this is.
I do recall at one point trying to like shoot the plunger, suck it in, and get the flat, and like fidgeting. I mean, I guess I'm used to doing that for games like that, so I didn't think about it, like playing Sekiro or whatever. But I think you're right. Didn't have enough time to make that judgment.
But that's the thing is I feel like they can. That's all easily. Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
I'm like really excited about it. Honestly, it's again, I'm excited as much as anyone else for Zelda and Pokemon. I'm just more excited in some ways for Luigi because it's the type of game I want to play in Switch, and it feels
Because the Mario
really good.
Bros are the best bros.
I guess.
Good bros.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with it, but
When is that out? I
Smash Bros.
forget. I always forget Luigi's Mansion.
They had no date yet. Fall
Okay.
2019.
October,
is
we
all
assume?
know. We assume October,
I'm in.
but anything can happen. Real quick thing about Link's Awakening. It's Grezzo working on it. The same people that ported Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time to 3DS. And this is their first kind of like console experience. And Link's
Foray.
Awakening is like, sure, it's a remake of a Game Boy game, but like they're
training wheels are off
it's
now.
totally it's not just like, oh, I'll press it. You know, it's like there's a lot more
no,
there.
it's
so.
a full. I mean, it looks beautiful.
Impressive stuff. And speaking of Nintendo, this wasn't E3, but I've been playing Mario Maker 2, baby.
No.
Oh yeah, I can talk about
I
that
forgot
now.
that came out in the middle of like E3.
Yeah, I can't give a full review
Well, it
yet.
didn't come out yet, right?
No, it's not out yet.
yeah, yeah.
It's sorry, out in end of June.
Yeah,
End of
yeah.
June. Like we're getting close.
Which is next week.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I've been playing a lot of it, and mainly the story mode.
Sure.
I haven't done any of the building stuff or any of that, but man, I love it. The story mode, it did something that I didn't think was possible with a Mario Maker game, where it's like there's a gameplay loop of building the castle that I just get so sucked into. Where Mario Maker on 3DS, when it came out, there was 100 Nintendo-made courses in it, and I loved playing through them. But really, all it is course. You're just like going after them, and at some point, you don't feel like you're making any progress towards anything. You're just beating levels,
play more stuff.
right? And it's like, you know, in a typical Mario game, you kind of going through the world map, and it's just like you're seeing things get ticked off, and it's just like a in your head thing of just like feeling like you're accomplishing something.
Oh, of course.
Whereas just like playing a bunch of levels is fun, but it doesn't feel like you're doing anything. The story mode is so simple, where Peach's castle gets blown up, and your Toad friends are like need you to do different tasks to be able to build it. You don't need to actually build it. It's just all kind of like just text based. They'll be like, oh, hey, I need more coins. I need this many coins to do this. And every level you beat, you get a certain amount of coins. Let's say you get like there's a difficulty level. So there's 5 stars. One's the easiest, 5's the hardest.
Sure.
5 stars are worth, let's say, 500 coins. 1 stars are worth 100 coins. But also, however many coins you get in the level, it adds on. So if you do a 1-star difficulty level, you get that 100. But if you collect 23 coins in that, you get 123. You can then use those coins to talk to the Toadette, who is like the building planner or whatever, and you get to choose like, oh, start building the West Hall, start building the main building.
We're building E3.
Yeah. It's actually called that West Hall East Hall of the castle, or like start building the second floor or whatever. You just like keep going and adding a bunch of stuff, flower pots and like whatever. Once that job starts, every time you beat a level, 1 notch gets done. So like once you pay to get something built, it requires you to beat 5 levels for it to be fully built. And it so quickly turns into this thing. It's just all in my head of just being like, oh, well, I'm only 2 things away from this being built.
Yeah.
And then I beat 2 more levels, and I get the coins. I'm like, well, now I'm only like 100 coins away from getting this next thing built. And it reminds me a lot
That seems
of
cool.
Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's just like
Mother Base.
like I don't need Mother Base. I don't care about Mother Base. But for some reason, they just trick you into getting in this loop where you're like, I'm doing something fun and I'm getting something for it. So this is why I play video games. Like
That's awesome.
The gameplay is airtight, obviously, when it comes to Mario, and all the story stuff kind of just doesn't get in the way, and it kind of incentivizes me to want to keep playing.
Have you built anything?
My castle's almost complete. I think I'm like 90. Oh, no, I haven't.
Courses.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
I've been strictly doing
Just
story
playing
mode. I'm not really the builder type.
I saw some article yesterday, right, that saying that when it's in handheld mode, you have to use the touchscreen controls to make levels or whatever. So they were talking about like you should get a stylus for whatever for your Switch if you need to or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Cool.
I haven't touched it at all.
That's fine.
But the story mode, the Nintendo created levels, I mean, I feel like I don't even need to say it. They are just,
awesome.
They're perfect. And every single one of them has some cool, unique thing. They're all designed to teach you the different things you can do in the builder. So it's like one level will be focusing on a very specific enemy, but doing things that you wouldn't expect that enemy to be doing, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I guess like when I'm making levels, I can add that mechanic
that's really
to this,
smart,
right?
obviously.
And a lot of the levels will have weird win conditions, which is a new thing that you can do in the game. In Mario Maker 1, you had to always just get to the flagpole, and that's the end. And this time it can be like, oh, just collect the like X amount of coins, or rescue these toads and get them to the end, or figure out this puzzle. And it's like all of a sudden it's Mario gameplay, but there's a lot of just different styles that you can go into it with. One of the most interesting ones is you need to beat a level without jumping at all.
Oh, wow.
Or sorry, without leaving the floor at all.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, cool. Obviously that means no jumping, but you're kind of then running through and trying to use the physics of different things around you to move forward. So it's like you'll be on a falling platform, but you need to make sure that you're on the right part of it. So when it falls, it lands on the next thing to kind of move you forward.
Like Mousetrap.
It's kind of like Mousetrap, but it's like, it gets so intense where like you'll be in a part, you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And it's like, oh, I have one shot. And it just reminds me of old Mario gameplay back when it was still fresh, where I'm like, I didn't know how to conquer every obstacle in my way. And I'm just like, wow, they're really, they obviously know this better than anyone else, but it's like making me look at the level design of just traditional Mario games and just being really impressed with the intricacy of everything they do. None of the levels overstay their welcome. There's a couple of them that I've been stumped on right now. Like I think there's been 3 that I'm like, I'm coming back to this one later. It's too much for me right now.
When you talk about coming back to them and being stumped on them, is it that are all 100 open to you and you get to go pick which ones
you open them up as you kind of going. Like it's
so the more you play, the more you
play, the more you unlock. It's constant though. Like you always have at least 15 stages you haven't played yet. So it's like you're getting a bunch of new ones constantly. And it's so well balanced between all the different art styles. And all the different backgrounds and like themes going on, and like there's so much weird Mario Maker gimmicky stuff of like spotlights, or like the lights will be off unless you jump and then things turn on, or like the weird music cues and stuff. A lot of weird items that have never been in Mario games before. Like there's a car you can get in, so there's like a Mario Kart themed level.
That's cool.
There's like weird augments that they can do on stages. So like the Mario Galaxy music will be playing and the gravity's all off.
Oh, neat.
And it's like like you're constantly just being surprised and seeing really there's a lot.
Which is awesome.
And the new 3D World style of gameplay, my least favorite part of the game. I feel like it kind of feels like an afterthought. The fact that stuff doesn't mesh with the other art styles, because all the other ones it's like you can build something and then switch between New Super Mario Brothers and Mario 3. This one is a separate game mode, which allows it looks way better, and it allows you to do a lot of things like the car, and like there's a couple other exclusive items and gimmicks and stuff. But just the way that Mario like runs and hits full speed and jumps and has the backflip and stuff, it's just like it's a little much, and I feel like it's not perfectly implemented. But so far, the rest of it is just like it makes Mario Brothers 3 feel fresh. And like that's insane.
That's cool.
Yeah, can't wait to play more. I'm almost done with the story, and I keep being surprised. Like I wouldn't say that any of the levels have been bad so far. So
wow,
very cool stuff. Greg,
yeah,
Doom.
So we went to Judge Week. We played Doom Eternal.
We did.
I think we've talked about it before on the show, so I'll keep it brief. But during the presentation in the beginning, they were like, heads up, you're going to die. Don't turn down the difficulty. Dying is part of Doom. This is basically like a puzzle game in that way. You die and you figure out how to do it better next time. And when they said that clicked in my head and made me think about how I didn't play the first Doom correctly. And I've tweeted about this since, but stick with me. Played Doom Eternal. Got my butt kicked, wasn't understanding the platforming, forgot that I could dash for a second, and it really fucked me up. Eventually got on track though, did it, and I was like, okay, cool, but having even that part where I was stalled out in Doom Eternal, we're like, how am I supposed to get to that platform before, like 5 minutes later, I remembered the dash. I was like, okay, that left me in a weird spot. Go to E3, go to play Stadia. Stadia is doing the Doom Eternal demo that I'd already played, but on Stadia. Sit down with the controller, start playing it, and now having remembered that other thing, now having it all click in my head, started playing it and was having a great time playing Doom Eternal, never mind the Stadia part of it. And so, yeah, we got to the airport, or we're on the way out, I guess, after E3, and I was telling you, like, I think I'm going to start up Doom. Like, I'm going to go back and reinstall Doom, right? Because what had happened with Doom was it dropped. Everybody loved it. We got codes. I went and put it in, and I did the first 2 levels. And I was like, I get it. I'm not a shooter guy. This is a bro shooter game, the metal, and like, running around and killing things. And I'm like, I get it. I see why people like it. It's very slick. It's very beautiful. It's very smooth playing. Not for me and left. Coming back and I played it playing on the Switch, and I was like, this is kind of hard to see. There's a lot going on Switch. So
Doom is not meant for Switch.
So
you did the right thing. Play it on your PS4.
So I went home and reinstalled on PlayStation 4 and then spent all Saturday, right? My time's a flat circle now for us, I guess. Maybe started it Friday and then played all Saturday. And I had such a great time with it. And it was such a, even jumping into Doom Eternal and then being like, of course, your melee kills are killing them and giving you back your health, right? And then the chainsaws giving you the armor, and the fire you're using is giving you that's giving you armor, or the armor's from the fire, chainsaws for the ammo. And so then going back and starting up Doom with that information and not having that until multiple levels in, and seeing like, I didn't even get to this, like unlocking that next part. I never got to actually see the long division, right? Like, show your work for this game, where it's like, oh, like I understood the health, obviously, of killing people, get your health, or meleeing them with, when you're in the gory kill. Yeah. But doing that and then stringing it together and then needing ammo and then like, okay, getting into that rhythm and that pacing of it in Doom. And then again, not being afraid to die this time, right? Of like, okay, cool, be on the move. It's like my same problem. I knew that I've played Wolfenstein wrong, right? Where I want to instinctively play like Division and go into cover and like wait. And it's like, no, you have to move in those fucking games. Doom, for me, having to move, doing all these the kills and getting the ammo and like looking for collectibles, it was just a magical play session on Saturday to see it all finally click into place, because I finally got the right people saying the right things to me on how to play it, not just to play it, but actually, no, this is what you are, and getting a glimpse in that demo of Eternal, because obviously you're starting in a different place with that one. I was like, holy shit, did I undersell. I thought people were into this because of the smoothness of it. I thought people were into this because of the precision of the shooting mechanics. I didn't realize it was the rhythm of the game and it was the beat of the game.
Rhythm of the night.
Exactly. And like, it's so rare for me, I feel, as like Blood and Truth, right? Love it on PlayStation VR. Had a great time. I finish a level and I move on to the next level. And like, I want to platinum it. I want to go back, whatever, blah, blah. Doom, it is finish a level and then fuck, I didn't get all those collectibles, right? Or I finish the main part of the level and it's like, clearly walk through that door, advance the level. Instead, let's run around and try to get everything, right? Like all the little things on my map, because I want to upgrade my my Slayer a very specific way, and I want to be as powerful as I can going into the next thing. And because it's just so much fun to not only be a badass and run around and kill things, but to then go through in like, my Assassin's Creed Ubisoft mindset of check off the boxes on the map of all the things, find all the collectibles. So I've just been having a great time with it. And so it's now got me super stoked for Doom Eternal, let alone finishing Doom proper.
Andrea, anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, one last thing I wanted to mention, because I know we're getting towards the end of the episode here, but something that I got to play on the floor at E3 that I had an absolute blast with, which I was not surprised about, was Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
Yes.
So
Played
they
it too.
had this beautiful giant snow dragon
so cool.
on the show floor in the South Hall, which was awesome. But Capcom obviously noticeably absent from all of the press conferences because they weren't really announcing like a big new game. And so when they reached out and said, we have hands-on for Iceborne, I was like, absolutely, I would love to make time for this. So I got to play with Britt, which was fun. We were paired up with two other members of the media who I actually didn't get to meet because we were already like customizing our stuff when they sat down, so we didn't actually get to say hi. But it was so fun because it's that Monster Hunter World gameplay you know and love, but better. Yeah. So they've made a bunch of tweaks and changes since the game launched last year, and what's really cool about what they're doing now is it's the snow and ice theme, obviously Iceborne, but they're taking that and really making it feel meaningful from a gameplay perspective. So for example, they've introduced a new consumable called a hot drink that you want to take on a hunt because it helps you keep your stamina up in the cold, and the more snow accumulation you get on your character as you're traversing through these giant snowbanks, it'll drain your stamina slowly. And so if you don't manage that, particularly if you're somebody who uses either the bigger weapons, or if you're like me, if you're tumbling a lot, because I'm a light bowgun player, you don't notice just how much the snow and the ice and the cold affects your stamina. And so they've built in these other gameplay mechanics to kind of combat that. And then, of course, they've got the new monsters that are in the world as well. And the best part that I loved about my demo was the trail rider buddies.
Yeah.
So in the original game, obviously the Palico system included this tail riders where you could kind of pick up a Palico buddy in the world and they would help you out in your hunt. Well, now they're taking it one step further. So if we went inside the tent on the hunt location, you would talk to the Palico in the tent and he would be like, oh, we've upgraded our tail riders to add trail riders, which is essentially a mount system. And so when you're out of the camp area and you're in the world, like going on the hunt to find the monster with the clues, you can summon this trail rider and they will hunt the monster for you. And so you just jump on their back and they'll like run you through the world as they're tracking the monsters.
That's cool.
And if it doesn't sound like a big deal, you have to keep in mind, right, the fact of Monster Hunter, right, and what we did at launch when we were 130 hours in, it is farming the same monsters over and over again, right? So it can get pretty redundant of, I'm in the same area, now I need to find the right number of tracks to pick up the trail, now my scout flies are going the way they need to, now I'm going towards the monster, now it can be that, cool, I'm farming near Agante, right? So I get the ride, get on it, and then I look at my phone, I do my thing, I answer an email, oh, we're there, great, now I can fight the thing and go.
Or if you're like me, you're watching the screen, collecting everything, because you can harvest items
Also
as
true.
you're on your trail rider, which is like game changing.
You can harvest, you can take your own, you can take your hot drinks, you can work on your menu, your inventory stuff. Like it's a great time saver
on
in
the
terms
train.
of exactly.
Yeah, and they're really cute, and it was just like such a nice quality of life touch, but it also fits within the world because if you'll see the little monster that's your trail rider buddy, you can see that species in the world, and don't be confused. They're not all of your friends. Just that one is your friend. The other ones will still try to kill you.
And they added the hook shot too.
Yeah, the grappling hook. So this is a really big traversal improvement and allows you to essentially like shoot a grappling hook into a monster and like kind of fast track
to it.
Yeah.
pull yourself to it. And if you have, one of the bigger weapons that you need to get up close with, you can actually like swing and hit the monster while you're hooked into them, which is kind of neat.
Another great one of like, cool, I need to farm tails, right? Like you can run around its butt trying to hack it all the time, and it works, obviously. But this is a way better thing of like, I need that, I need a horn, I need a shoot and target right to it, and then be attached to the side and hack
Can
at
you
it.
push yourself away too? Or?
No, it's just attaching to monsters. It's not attaching to trees or environments.
Gotcha. Oh no, I meant like it's funny because Dauntless has something like this, I believe. But you can do both. You pull yourself in, but you can push yourself away with it.
Oh no, I didn't see that functionality.
The same type of thing.
Did you play Jedi Fallen Order at all?
Oh, I didn't get to play it. It was just.
man.
Did you get to play it?
Oh, but before
the
you
push
guys
and
move
pull
on to
is
that,
so
I
good.
just want to end with
go
reminding
soon,
people that the beta for Iceborne starts on Friday for PS Plus members. So if you guys want to try it out and you never played the original Monster Hunter World, it's free for PlayStation Plus subscribers this first weekend, and then next weekend it's open to all PS4 players.
So wait, when people get this on Monday, though, what does that mean?
PlayStation 4
I
players.
believe it's still going on Monday. Let me double check the dates.
But otherwise, you can look forward to the Bleeding Edge technical alpha is coming up from the Ninja
Oh,
Theory.
yeah?
Yeah,
I
so it
think
goes
that was
from
the
Friday,
27th?
June
We get to play that.
21st through Monday, June 24th for PlayStation Plus subscribers, and then Friday, June 28th to Monday, June 1st. I think they mean July 1st for all PlayStation 4 owners.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Thank you very much for joining us.
Let me give a shout out to Riverbond.
Okay, go
before
for it.
we go.
Go for it.
Riverbond is one that was in the original Kind of Funny Game Showcase. It's that voxel pixel like cubic. It looks like 3D Dot Game Heroes
yeah.
to an extent, right? Dungeon crawler, run around the world, 4-player drop in, drop out co-op. Hack and slash, but it's also got a gun, so it's like it can be shoot and slash or hack and shoot, whatever you want to call it or whatever. Like I said, original Kind of Funny Game Showcase guy. Played it with Jen, I guess all of Sunday, right? And it's very simple, and I like it a lot. But it's very simple. It wasn't like we were super challenged. I'd be interested to play it solo because I only played it in co-op. But it was an interesting thing of just running through these environments, having different monsters come at you, hacking them with the different weapons. As you go, you open treasure chests, you get new weapons for that run. You have the gun, so it is a bit of twin stick shooter at one point if you want to play it that way. There's the different weapons have different abilities, obviously, different charge up attacks. Like I said, not that challenging, but enjoyable. You're playing through all these different levels and then getting to a giant boss that then takes a bit of choreography coordination. Like Jen and I had pretty much mindlessly been running around, having, talking to each other, beating stuff up, having a good time. And then when the boss got there, it was that he had a force field. How do we wear it down? Oh, charge up these things. All right, we'll start it together, and then there's like a countdown of how long that is, and then go. But there's ads, res me, do these different things. There's secrets hidden around the world. Biggest problem I have with it is it's $24.99. Which I think is way too much for it. I would tell you to wait till it goes on sale, but I really enjoy the gameplay for what it is. It is super simple. It's not mindless, but it's just a fun palate cleanser. Where it's like when I was coming down off of some of the other stuff that you're ending the show without letting me talk about because you're rude.
What we're gonna do next week?
I'll be back then.
I want to talk about Stadia with you guys. Which
we got to get real into that next week.
Sure.
I want to. Yeah.
So much more.
But that's the Riverbond update. Enjoy, everybody.
There you go, Riverbond, baby. And that's Gamescast. Love you very much. We're about to get into the post show. Until then, I love you. All right. You got to bounce, Fran?
Do got to bounce.
Go
Bye,
for it, man.
Fran. Bounce it up.
Go do some charity stuff.
Donkey Kong charity?
Yes.
Guardian Con charity for the kids fighting cancer. All that.
Yep. St. Jude's.
Beautiful kids.
I thought you've done stuff with St. Jude's before.
We were about to, and then I had to change my plans, and I am not to. But Andrea is, and we're hosting her. Are you streaming tonight?
It's on Guardian Con's official Twitch channel. So
Just give me the times, and we'll host you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, well, it's right after. It's from 5 to 9 p.m. It's actually, it's not just me, though. It's Destiny Community Podcast Live. It's a bunch of people.
I don't mind. I like you.
I'll be embarrassing myself and having fun with everybody.
All right.
So What's Good Games
And you guys.
session is from 5 to 9 Pacific on Friday.
Yep. Twitch TV/Guardian Con. Guardian Con is also on July 5th and 6th, and I'll be there in Florida. I'll see you all later.
Fun.
Bye, Fran.
Bye.
Thank you. Good seeing everyone.
Chat saying bye.
The Iceborne DLC is paid, I believe. Yeah, they actually said so. I should have said this in the show, but the developers that I talked to said that the amount of content in Iceborne is almost as much content as in the base game.
Yeah. No. I thought,
So-
is it the map is bigger than the base game? I thought I had heard something to that effect.
Don't know.
It was great, and it's
Can't
interesting.
confirm.
Kevin, I'll be interested if we get into it. Is Kevin over there?
I'm here.
Yeah, because you, me, and Jen were so into it at launch. I'd be interested to see if this brings us back even for a little bit. Because I thought, our biggest concern since we stopped playing was, oh man, it's gonna be so hard to get back in. I barely know how to do anything. Yada yada yada. Jumping back in, sight unseen. Here's a look at the controls and play. I was impressed by how playing on the mission did feel like riding a bike, and it was natural. I'm still more worried about what armor set was I working on, and why do I have all this stuff, and what was I saving? But maybe not that bad.
I don't know how it's going to work. You also might just want to screw whatever armor set you had and go for the new
Sure,
ones.
100%.
Prediction: you play it for one weekend,
Yeah.
and I never touch it.
Why won't you play with me, Kevin? What happened to you and me?
Because you're gonna play with your wife.
It's 3 players can play.
It's not gonna happen like that.
4,
though.
technically.
It's also true.
It's not gonna happen like
Fine,
that. though.
have it your way.
And they
You know?
changed
Bob's-
the damage scaling for 2 players, so
Don't
it's not
get
as
mad at
difficult.
me like I don't know you well enough to make these predictions.
Kebab says, Tim, have you gotten the chance to play CTR? I did get to play CTR at E3 a little bit. I can't officially talk about too much about it until next week's show because of where Gamescast lies. It's one of those dumb ones.
I hate those bars that don't help us.
CTR. I'm having
Crash Team Racing.
Oh, yeah,
baby.
that's right.
Yeah.
What?
People talking about Bloodstained in there. They're enjoying it. We have, if you didn't know, the kind of funny face in Bloodstained that you can unlock and put as your character's face.
Well, then.
Interesting.
I did it last night, and I was going to
No
tweet.
way.
I did it last night. And I was going to tweet about how to do it. But what I found is that when she goes into like a cutscene or your inventory screen, the face flashes crazily over her face to the point that it hurts my eyes. And Jen's like, this is going to give someone a seizure. And I'm like, I'm not going to tweet about it until they fix this.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Chance Carter says, so Bloodstained ain't sending out emails for PS4 backers till next week. Over under them fumbling this worse than Mighty Number 9. And then Panzer says, I'm loving Bloodstained so far. I can't imagine that this is a Mighty Number 9 situation.
Nobody liked that game, right?
Yeah, I think Bloodstained is going to be at least a little bit better.
I think he just means the fumbling of the
Received.
codes. I don't think he's talking about gameplay or like. I think he's like the fact that like the game's out, but PlayStation 4 backers don't have their codes. That sucks.
I still don't think they're going to mess it. I mean, even with that, Mighty Number 9 was like a disaster launch.
What a disaster.
Disaster.
I'm excited to play Crash Team Racing. Never have, ever, any kind. And I like a good kart racer.
I'm going to try Cadence of Hyrule.
Ooh.
That was the one that I missed out on because I had Mario Maker 2, and I'm like, I got to play this. But yeah, Cadence of Hyrule. Excited for it.
Hopefully
Getting
I'll be
good
able to talk
reviews.
about that next week. I'm going to play that this weekend.
True to be fun.
If I've got some time.
Busy's late in the business. That's rare.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sleep a little
Cameron
bit this
Kennedy,
weekend.
yes. This is the post show. You gonna sleep? That's crazy.
I feel like I haven't properly like zoned out since coming back from E3. And like I went straight into E3 after everything I went through. With
Yeah, I was about to say like
surgery, so
since
it's
coming back from E3, I'm like I was expecting you to say from like a month ago.
No, I mean, well, it has been a really, really busy. May was crazy, and then right into this. So thankfully, I've got a couple of weekends now, and like we did make the kind of bummer announcement that What's Good isn't coming to RTX, but I'm kind of
Stoked about that.
secretly excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm bummed that we don't get to see you guys and we don't get to see everybody in Austin. And part of me was like, maybe I try to squeeze in a Guardian Con trip, and I'm like, no, you should just stay home.
Maybe I'll just chill
enjoy
out.
your
Just
life.
maybe not go anywhere.
I'm excited for RTX. I wish it wasn't as soon as it is, but I'm excited for it because we're sending everyone here.
Yeah.
And like we didn't do that at E3,
Yeah, you guys are gonna have a blast.
and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. So it's gonna be good. Michael James, you are so incorrect about everything. He says number 1 Mario Kart, number 2 Diddy Kong Racing, number 3 Baby Jesus, number 4 CTR. That list is all out of whack, baby. All out of whack.
Were you on Giant Bomb's E3 stream this year?
No, I wasn't. Oh,
In the
Panzer
room.
GS says, Greg, why aren't you on Giant Bomb's E3 stream this year? I think earlier in the pre-show, I saw one go by, like, what did I do to Jeff Gersman? It sucks for Giant Bomb to see that I am more successful and famous than all of them put together, and it breaks their heart. And
Yeah.
Not wrong though. Yeah.
what are you talking about? No, we love Giant Bomb and they love us. It was just, I think when I'm not doing a top 10 list, that's when I fucked up. When I'm not doing Game of the Year top 10 list at the end of the year. It's just that I think they want to cycle in voices as much as possible. And I had a good, 3-year run? Something like that in a row. And so, yeah, that's it. It's also the fact of every time Jeff and I get together and bullshit around at Judges Week and it's a great time, I'm always like, you got to come do Games Daily. And he's like, cool. I just can't do these 2 days a week. And I'm like, cool. And then I never book him because every time we fucking need a guest host, it's one of the 2 days a week you can't do.
Yeah, that sounds right. I am planning to play Mystery Asman, the Borderlands 2 DLC that sets up Borderlands
Yes,
3,
please.
but it's not at the top of my priority list. That's like something I could do maybe in like July or August.
I see it on keep seeing it on my cross media bar there,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I want to play that, but it's the same thing. There's a bunch of other things I want to play.
I'd rather play it like right before Borderlands 3 comes out.
And also, there's that thing too. I do like the idea of just ready to go. Let's go. Like, I guess it is Borderlands. I've seen so many people start playing Borderlands 2 right now. I'm getting ready for Borderlands 3, and I'm like, having not played Borderlands 2 in so long, but knowing how much I love Borderlands, I'm way more stoked to just boom, Borderlands 3, let's go. But I do want to do this DLC.
Yeah.
Michael James says Comic-Con plans. We don't have any official plans yet.
Or do we?
I am going
Secret plans.
for my friend's 30th birthday. Very exciting. So this is the first time I'm ever going to, I think, any convention that's not for
More
work.
for fun. I'm going to
Excited
work.
about it. Yeah.
We haven't announced what I'm doing, but if you've
exciting.
ever paid attention to what I do at Comic-Con year in, year out,
You might
figure it
Winky
out.
face.
PSW says TwitchCon plans. Very, very, very doubtful we'll be at TwitchCon.
No.
Where is TwitchCon this year?
I don't know.
Hell.
At San Diego again, I think.
It was in San Jose last year.
Oh, was it?
It was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we went to TwitchCon. It was fun. We got to do a thing on the big stage.
Wow.
And I did some work with IGN. One of
We went to
Sean
TwitchCon.
Finnegan's last things that he did before he
He was
left.
like, this is
that he
perfect,
died.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean, Avi working with me
Yeah.
doesn't get any better.
That's true.
Mr. Yasmin says, guys, what are the chances we have a PSX this year?
Actually, I would say surprisingly high.
Yeah. I think it's possible. Especially
it's
with them
possible.
trying to set up maybe, PS5 or whatever.
Yeah.
That could be the reveal in some way. That's how I think that would be the coolest, hypest thing to
It
do.
would be.
Where it's like,
Which
guess
is-
what?
that's why it's too good to be
PSX
true.
is back. And maybe they just do it in February. Maybe they just do a PSX in February rather than like December, right? And it is like, guess what? We're opening with a press conference, revealing our PlayStation 5 plans. It'll, the first whatever rows are all media, then it's just PSX, right?
Hell yeah. I love that. Let's do it.
Could be right before the release date of The Last of Us Part 2.
I'd love that.
I'm guessing spring 2020 for that since we haven't
Sure.
heard yet.
Sure. Rumors February, yeah.
See? It would be perfect timing.
It would. All right. I love it.
The always abrupt end to a post show.
Actually, there's one more I want to do. Cameron Kennedy says, and Greg, I'll let you take this one.
You got it.
Oh yeah, what were the things you guys knew about that made E3 predictions tough this year?
Like all the EA Play stuff for sure. Like
Yeah,
That was hard.
yeah, exactly.
There wasn't really much we could have predicted there. They didn't have a conference.
Well, there was also several things that we saw. Well, not several, but some things that we saw Judges Week that were embargoed until after.
Also true.
the press
Judges Week, we
conferences.
were embargoed out the butt about. I think it's bigger stuff that I still don't think NDAs have lifted on or done stuff with.
Yeah, well, and for me, it's like it's always hard for me to do that show, and that's why we skew the What's Good show to the 8-Ball to make it more like comedy based. Because as somebody who is like the lead programming producer for the Facebook live stream, it was my 3rd year running now. I get a lot of that stuff in advance about like unannounced title from this developer, or we're going to be doing a demo for this announced game, but like we haven't announced that this is what we're showing for that game. And so it makes doing predictions kind of challenging because I know what they're going to be bringing to the show. And obviously all of that's under NDA. So
Yeah. I just feel like when we do predictions, we're never going to be like making boring ass shit. You know what I mean? It's always going to be the stuff of like Keanu Reeves is going to come out. But you say The Rock.
Well, because there's still plenty of
He's
stuff
coming one
that
day.
even though we work so closely with our industry partners that we aren't privy to, right?
I feel like we don't know anything interesting. Like we don't know the thing that's going to make us go like, oh shit. Like the hype moments, like those aren't the
that's
things.
fair.
Yeah, well,
That's
sure.
fair.
We know.
Yeah, but it's always more stuff about a game's release window or what if this game's going to be at E3 or what that kind of stuff.
That kind of stuff, yeah.
Which is like the more I think nickel and dimey, like that's how I'm going to win these predictions kind of thing.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
this game is going to be about that's unannounced. Oh no, we know all about it, but we can't tell you.
Mr. Yasman, me and the girls stream every month, unfortunately. It is Patreon exclusive. We don't do regular Twitch or YouTube streams, mostly because of our schedules, but I mean, maybe we will sometime. We do have to finish playing Until Dawn.
Ooh.
And until then,
I see what he did there.
see you guys later.
It's always darkest before the dawn.